Hey,
Ding!
ding.
Welcome back. We're
Hello.
live again. Welcome to the Phil, Sid, and now definitely Steve every week. I'm going to have to change the titling a little bit. I haven't moved any of the lights, so if we're all a little bit dark in areas, I forgot. I think we'll be right tonight.
I'm a bit blurry, so that's fine.
I just need to move the camera around a little bit because I haven't moved it. Hey, look, I'm out of practice. What can I say? It wouldn't be the same if I'm not doing my hand puppet jobs. Right, there we go.
That's when you stick your head in the old boot.
Or do an eyeball like I did to Steve earlier. Right, great to be back, everybody. Well, I'll say that. Quite frankly, I might prefer to be in Hawaii. I was having such a hard time. Yes, I must admit. I did do 2 segments. Unfortunately, the wind noise is so bad you can't hear me. One is I'm stood next to Missouri, so I'm going to have to dub myself in again. But you can't hear me because it's so windy. And I'm like, you know, hello, welcome to Flory Models. I'm Flory, and today I'm with the mighty Mo. So I did that, and I got all these Japanese people give me strange looks. So me and Dave did that, and I also did one on the beach as well, which didn't come out very well either because of the lights all.
Yeah, because you were most upset. You were saying that they didn't know you over there.
No, that was it. I did. I went into, if they're watching, because you should be, because I gave them a card. I went into the Pearl Harbor in the museum there, and all the bits and pieces. IPMS were in there and had a little display. So I went in, didn't know me, came out, salt, you know, hit the beer, back to the beach. That was it. So you know you're big.
They probably thought, who's that that's being here?
Yeah,
like idiot of himself.
English. Well, apparently I'm now Australian.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because in Hawaii, because they don't get many British over there, apparently I sound Australian. Because everyone's like, oh, you're from Australia? No, I'm English. And it's like, oh, you sound Australian. Do I? I don't know. So, guys, you know, the Australian contingent amongst you, do we all sound the same? When you're away, the Australians, does everyone say to you, are you English?
They've been doing your subtitles again on your new shows.
I hope not. That's not good. If you need a giggle one night, everyone, just watch us in the caption thing on YouTube, because it doesn't quite come out as it should. In some ways, it's quite disturbing.
It is.
Anyway, over to Steve, because Steve's here as well. Welcome, Steve. Thank you very much.
Yay. Hello.
Big thank you to Steve, I have to say, for holding the fort whilst I was away as well.
Definitely.
Because he was up all night watching it when he should be bottling and everything else. So big thank you to him.
And
thank you, well, yeah, but you've got a new job in that. So you've actually got a real job now. You have to work at and all the rest of it.
I actually go outside the house.
Yes, and meet people.
I know.
Funny people, have to talk and everything. Bless. So yes. Anyway, so it's lovely to be back. Obviously, as you can see here, whoops, we haven't laid it out exactly brilliantly because we needed to squish it in. But tonight, in around about 25 minutes, we're going to draw live on air for the Snap prize draw. I keep saying raffle things and things like that, but it's the raffle. You've all been buying raffle tickets like good ones. Thank you so much to everybody. We've raised, technically, I think it's going to be around about 2,700 in total. Fantastic. I've got a couple of people who said they want to make donations as well. I think we're around about the 2,630 quid if you speak, but I know other people are donating, so if it doesn't reach it, I'll chip it anyway. And everything else. So, as a little bit of a special as well, what we're going to do, obviously you've got one lucky winner's going to get this lot, with the exception of the beer.
And the sweets.
And the sweets, because that's something else.
They're going to go.
They're going to go. But we're going to have some other ones as well. So hang around, because we're actually going to have 5 prizes on top. Well, no, 4 on top of what we got here as well. So you guys want to stay in. Do you want to just make sure we are playing in that? Because, you know, we could have just been yapping for 5 minutes.
We could have easily just yapping to ourselves, because I didn't check it, did I?
No. So if one of us can check, that would be very handy, because it would be my, like, when I came back, I started working on the, yeah, we're on good. I started working on the Scout Walker and realised I didn't have some of the lights on. I'm out of practice. So when I got to editing, I'm thinking, oh, it's a bit dark in there today. I must have the lights are playing up. It's because we have one on. So never quite. Right, housekeeping things we do have to speak about. We do have to thank Kessler.
Definitely.
For a massive package that turned up before we went away, but obviously we didn't do a couple of live shows before we went away and everything else, who sent us beer, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Oh, and sweets. I'll be honest, we would show more, but they've been eaten. Especially the girls. The girls have been through a lot of that. I'm just saying that because distance myself. And, well, there was a few more beers, if I'm honest. They've gone as well. So, but big thank you to you. That was more than kind. Especially when it was the day that the X-Wing turned up. And when it was a big box, I'm like, oh, that's heavy. big box, because I thought that's what it was. And it's like, oh no, it's full of beer and chocolate. What's almost as good as my
birthday.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. So yes.
Thank you very much.
So anyway, obviously 3 weeks away, getting back into it. I won't deny it was quite a nice holiday. You know,
what? It looked like you were really struggling.
I was struggling. But if you haven't seen the photos, then
it really looks like you know, it was really horrible. It looked like you was having a
it was
time.
Pretty terrible. 27,800 miles we did in total. So that's quite a round trip. That is pretty good trip, I must admit. Although the jet lag, 11 hours difference, that's not good, and everything else. But did have a lot of fun. Enjoyed that. Alaska, I must admit, I'm sold. I think that's a brilliant place. Anywhere where you can just land your plane where you like. You know? I've got a photo actually in Alaska, and we're talking to this guy, and he's like, oh yeah, well this is the main route through Alaska. This is like, you know, the busiest road, like the equivalent to like M1. And I stood there for 20 minutes and never saw a car. And it's a 2-lane, you know, 4-lane highway, and you're like, and then eventually a lorry comes past or something, and that's it. There's just nothing there. It's absolutely fantastic. But that was up at Denali, and then we went to Fairbanks and everything else. If you're into your sort of World War II, your classic airliners and your bombers and stuff like that, you have to go up to Fairbanks, because you go up to Fairbanks, and luckily enough, we stayed not very far from the airport. And I've got a photo of it, which I'll show on the forum, because next to our hotel, there's it's a sweet shop and a candy store. And on the roof, they've got the front end of a DC-4, of a Douglas DC-4 inserted into the roof. So it's hanging out the front. It looks like it's smashed through it. And it's like, well, they're 2 a penny, because when you go down the road, there's a scrapyard with hundreds of them in. Just, you know, wings missing, some are in parts and everything else. But at the airport, they've got all these classic aircraft working. You know, they're not museum pieces, they're actually working. And loads of like C-46s, the Commandos as well there. Weird looking things, buzzing around, but obviously with all the prop aircraft, it's real prop heaven. Although I do have to say, it was a demonstration on salmon fishing and things like that, and we did get buzzed by a pair of Aggressor F-16s, the black and white moo cow ones, straight over. So I'm there with the camera, forget that. Oh yeah, that's it. Like Hawaii International, everyone's going, oh, isn't it pretty? I'm looking at the quick reaction hangars with Raptors in. So it was like, yeah, that's good. A couple of flybys from Raptors as well whilst we're in Hawaii. So yeah, very good. I must admit, can't complain.
What are you doing over here? Oh, I got lost, sorry.
Yeah, that's it. No, so very nice. Lovely people as well. Had very nice drinks in most of the bars we could find. So, we know you've been working.
I have indeed, yeah.
Hard the last couple of weeks.
Yes, I haven't stopped the last 2 weeks.
I know, you've been very busy.
I have. I've had about 2 days off out of those 2-3 weeks.
So they're getting their money's worth out of you.
They certainly are.
Good.
It's nice being back at it, so to speak.
Goody goody. Steve, what have you been up to?
I've been cracking on with the ship. It's a very slow, long job. I don't know if you can see. It's because of all the photo etch where that's going into it. It does take a long time.
Yeah.
Because you have to clean the parts, remove details off the kit parts, and then replace them with the photo etch. So it does take a long time to do. And on Sunday, the guys who came to my geek me made me start the Bandai 1/48th movable X-wing. So
very nice.
Made him start.
Yeah, made him start. As if it was
yeah.
Yeah. You will start. No, I won't. Yeah. Oh. Bit of a fight, obviously, with that one. Bless. No, very good. I must admit, you know, having seen the Mo, got some bits for Steve and everything else like that. One thing I do have to mention, like Steve's replacing his deck. Aren't you replacing the deck on yours with the wooden one?
Yeah, it's got wooden deck on there now.
Yeah, on the kit one. Well, on the real thing, whilst I was there, they're replacing the deck on it, right? Each one of the, I think it's teak because they're anti-static. The wood doesn't conduct electricity, so that's why they use them. But they're replacing the deck because they did replace it a few years ago with something else, spruce, pine, or whatever, but they are rotting instantly. So they're going back to the old school to do it. But each one of these teak planks, which aren't massive, let's face it, there's quite a few of them, they're $1,000 a plank. So, and you know how big this thing is, and they're replacing everything. And amazingly, though, the Navy and all the rest of it, and the US government doesn't fund the ship. It's all by public donation.
Mm-hmm.
But you imagine the cost of just doing the deck, let alone the rest of it that goes with it. So, it's quite a phenomenal task.
Peaceful.
Well, yeah, I think I might have got arrested though. So I'm trying to get off with an 8-foot plank. I need it. Steve needs it. You could use it for the diorama base. So and everything else. I could have got one of the old ones.
Could have got a little splinter from it.
A splinter from
There
it.
you go.
Well, they are quite hot on security to the point on that thing where you're not allowed there with any type of baggage whatsoever. So you can't even go in there with a bag.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even go in there technically with a camera strap. They are that tight on security. So it's probably nothing to do with terrorism and all you to stop people putting stuff in and coming out with it. That's what we were saying. Yeah, it stops you nicking a bit of the ship, coming out with it in your bag. But yeah, they're pretty tight on security in there. All very friendly, don't get me wrong. They're all very nice. But yeah, security is very tight.
Mm-hmm.
So never mind. All good.
Indeed.
Well, as for me, trying to get back into it from the modelling point of view, I have started my mojo. So I've got this little guy on the go who's getting there. He's all posable. His head moves in all the directions, all very clever. And again, I have to say, it's Bandai. You just can't go wrong with them, really, at the end of the day.
Did you sort out a bit about the legs?
Yeah, I haven't used the long. You get, which would it be? I suppose it'd, I don't know, knee joint, I suppose it is on that one. You get a pin that goes all the way through, which locks them so it doesn't move. Or you can have covers so it slightly does. At the moment, I must admit, I have got it. If I get it off the space. It all falls apart now. Because again, there's no glue. Well, I knew that one because he's just on there. But yeah, he's all walking, so you can actually pose him with the legs all in the wobbly positions, and you can put him into stupid positions and all the rest of it. And you have got movement down here on these knees. And what it is, this one, you can have a pin in there that stops the movement on this knee joint slightly. Mm-hmm. But it's so tight that I don't think you're going to worry about it. I thought if it's really sloppy, it's not going to hold its own weight, then you're going to need to do something about it. But again, this is all together with no glue. It's like amazing. Yeah, this at the moment, I haven't pushed it home all the way yet because I've got to get it off. That's why he just sort of slightly stood on there. But unfortunately, he does need to stand on the base because he doesn't like standing on his own. But it'll be right when he's done. Really nice. I've painted and weathered and fully done the interior. But you can't see.
No, you can't see.
But if you... Ow! There you go, right, he is in there.
Green surgery.
I did do it. It is on the video, so you're going to be able to see that on the video and all the rest of it. Part 1 will go up on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. And then I've also done the X-Wing, because it was here, the one that Steve's working at the moment. I've got the review for that. I did it all, to be honest, before I went, so I'm a lot whiter. I've got shorter hair, because I need a haircut now after 3 weeks. But yeah, so that's going to go up as well. And then the next big one for us is obviously I'm going to start on the Rebel Typhoon. This is the 132nd, not the other one. The reason I haven't started, because I've had a load of emails saying, oh, you're doing the wrong Typhoon. I've got a plan with the other one, but I need to get some bits in for it. So, but I am going to do the old Airfix 124 scale Typhoon, the old one, because Steve's done it. He did a brilliant job on his, and I'm going to do mine. It's just that I'm going to probably put a motor in it and somehow have it so it's showing as well and all the rest of it. So we're going to liven it up a little bit, is the plan. So bear with me on it. I just need to get a motor of various things before I can start. Typhoon I've got all here, so that's going to be in flight, fully LED lit. So we'll be all right. We're good with that one.
Okie dokie.
And everything else. So, questions. Who have we got? What have we got? We've got 15 minutes before we do this bit.
We've got Stephen. Hi chaps, Phil, hope you and Mel had a fab holiday. The photos look amazing. Great to have the live show tonight, so we'll be tuning in. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, lovely. Had a great time.
Mr. Ian Smith. Hello, Ian. I must say, I shocked him last night.
Did you?
Because he Facebook messaged me
Uh-huh.
About, I don't know, some stupid o'clock time. Obviously not his time, but my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing my night shift.
Yeah, so you were there.
So I actually answered it to him, and he was quite shocked. He felt guilty because he might have thought that he bugged me up.
Mm.
I should have said he did, really, but no, I was honest and said, no, I was doing night shift.
See, I could have got him there because I was the other way in Hawaii, so I would have been, 6 hours behind him again. So between us, we could have got him at any time. So it'd have been all right.
I just hope he's locked his door for the moment.
Yeah, make sure your doors are locked.
Yeah.
Who knows in these
And his
things?
window.
Windows, back of the car.
Turn the iron off.
Yeah, make sure the gas is off. Go on.
Good afternoon, evening from a rainy Montreal. So Phil is all rested up, and I hope Sid isn't too tired today, and that Steve is in good shape. My questions. 1. Phil, is it true that Sid taught you all that you know, and he just keeps quiet about it, as he doesn't like being in the spotlight?
That is extremely true, but I did teach him everything about modelling. So yes.
Number 2. Have you ever thought or looked into using water mixable oil paints? That sounds just wrong.
Well, it does.
but
It's
they
water
work
mixable
like
oil paints. So they must be mineral, I would have thought, paints rather. I did try them a couple of years ago, but I find they go grainy. The oils don't. Oils tend to keep oily, give you that sort of oily look, whereas the mineral ones, they tend to get a little bit grainy. That said, that was, I say, a couple of years ago, maybe 10. So perhaps now they've developed a better way of doing it. I assume it would be like a synthetic, a bit like Tamiya paint and Guns paint. They're not technically acrylic.
Right.
They're more of a synthetic. You know, technically, if it's an acrylic, you should be able to not burn it, but as we all know, it does burn very well. So.
I have been experimenting with these, and one of the greatest things, excuse me, with them is soap and water cleans them up. No terps, white spirit is needed.
Or smell, because that's the thing, it all whips a bit with the oils. So yeah, no, I can see that. Steve, you ever used those types?
No, I haven't. I like using the standard oil paints, but I think at some stage I would like to give them a try just to compare the two.
Yeah. Yes, perhaps I'll pop down Hobby Co. and fix them up. Because I tried them years ago because I thought it would be dry quicker and be not as smelly. But I just found them when you mix them up in your dish, when you use these, you put them in, you could look on the edge and you had like a grittiness.
Right.
And I thought, well, if it's going to be gritty here, it's going to be gritty in there.
Ideal for them.
So to be honest, that's why I went off and started to use things like Indian ink, because obviously they don't do that and stuff like that. But I'm quite happy to give them a whirl again. I will get some and we'll see how we go. But whilst he's on, Ian has sent me and you, because you've had half of this already.
Yep.
It's not beer.
No.
But it is some very nice tweezers, so thank you very much, Ian, for that. I'll have a play with. I do like them in pink, as we all know. I am a man of the,
feminine side.
Feminine side, I'm quite happy to do eyebrows. And so, yes.
Surprise!
They've got a nice curve. You used them, yeah?
I haven't, no, because I've not really been doing any modelling, so.
Oh, right.
But I think they'd be ideal for perhaps decals, holding bits of small photo etch.
Are they reversed? They're reversed, aren't they?
Yeah, they're sprung thingies.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking they're reverse springy. That's the thing. As in, you don't push to close like those. These are already there.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is quite handy, I suppose. Must admit, that would be my first thing. I will give them a whirl, and I will report back. But yeah, could be quite handy. Quite a nice point on them. I'd probably take off the paint off of it, if I'm honest. I'm down to metal just to make it thinner and more getting in there.
I was quite surprised at how much he said they cost.
Did he tell you? Have you got a note of yours?
He did tell me.
Go on then.
Well, how much do you think?
Well, if it comes from the place which I was looking at from, about 30p. But
oh, I don't know.
Sure then.
It was about that.
It was. All right. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, as we were saying, you don't need to spend a fortune. I'm sure Tamiya could probably sell you a set for a tenner.
Probably. Easily.
Got Tamiya written on it, £10.
Yep.
So look, yeah, are they magnetic? Yeah, brilliant.
And they stand out.
And they stand out so I can see them, but they go on my magnetic board. That's brilliant, because I've got my other one. Look. Oh, I lost it. No, I've got my other one to stick up still. Look, we're good to go. So I'll bolt that to the wall, the next one. But my other ones, because obviously they're cheap, yeah, that's it. A magnetic wall, and I can wear a magnetic suit and throw myself against it like Barfly. Who remembers that from the 90s, kids? Covering yourself in Velcro or throwing yourself at a wall. It seemed brilliant at the time, but then we didn't have the internet back then.
Actually, I've been following the Ninja Warrior UK.
Oh, right.
Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah, they had that one in America and had the streaker on it. That was even better. Have you seen that? Getting off topic, but Ninja Warrior, I've seen it in the UK. I know you have it in the States, but the one in America is in the Vegas Strip, and then a streaker gets on, but he does brilliantly, and security can't catch him because he's doing the actual run through the middle and all the rest of it. Brilliant.
I'm going to say, Sid, just before you carry on, while I remember, one of the guys who comes to the Geek Me on the forum, Mal the Mackham, he's been telling us that apparently Clear has been discontinued by Pledge. They've totally stopped making it, and they're bringing out this new product which nobody knows what it's going to be like yet. So I'd go out to your supermarket and try and get some Pledge Clear in.
Yeah, because I've only managed to find it in Sainsbury's.
Yeah, and also that's the bottle that you normally been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
At some stage,
it's changed again.
Yeah, they swapped to that one.
Yeah.
And now they're running out of supplies of this, so if you can get a hold of it, get some. Because it's stopped being made.
Do you remember when it first came out that they would stop making the old one? That was terrible, because I looked a right numpty in Tesco's, right? I've got like 24 bottles in the trolley, and I'm putting it on the thing, and it's going down the conveyor, and she's swiping it. Yeah, you can see the look, you know. I'm a modeller, it's okay. Well, that sounds better, you know. Modelling what, sir? You know, beep, beep.
I like squeaky floors.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I'm quite partial to a shine. But no, that was the thing. I remember everyone panicked, and then they came out with it, and then. All right, I still, you know, the original, the one that is clear, is better than this one, the newer one, because the newer one is slightly thinner, I think. And obviously it's white in colour, so you can't see it straight away. Like when you dip canopies and it was into clear, you could see exactly what you've got off the bat. This one, because it's slightly milky, you have a little bit of trust going in. So if you've got a hair, bit of fluff, some bit of plastic in there, you don't know until it's too late, really. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but there is that little thing with it, but
it smells nice.
Yeah, well, that I don't know how well they can make that out. Is what they're replacing it with.
But that is clear, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a floor care finish, so we don't know what it's like.
Yeah, but that looks to me like the original then.
Yeah.
So are they going back to the original? Let's hope so.
Who's going to be brave enough to try it first on that model?
Me, normally. It's usually me who does it. I get emails saying, Phil, have you tried? What you're really saying is, can you wreck one of yours and then let the world know? Buster, you're up. You can come back out of retirement. Give him another coat.
Post 4 is from Neil. Hi, Phil. I've been looking at the photos. What an amazing time you had. Hope you all got some time to rest though, and hope Mel is on the mend.
She is. She's above us now, in bed, tucked up on her antibiotics. Bless her little arm. She's a bit of a poorly pea up there.
Did you manage to smuggle any modelling goodies back with you? If so, what caught your eye?
Okay, what you do have to realise is my partner's from Bridgewater.
Yes, and she does all the packing.
Yeah. There's a story to that, but I'm not going to bore everyone to that. It cost me another $100 to travel like 40 minutes in an aeroplane from Fairbanks to Anchorage because we were overweight. But we won't talk about that. Nightmare. But no, if I had gone into a modelling shop whilst I'm away, I would have not come back a whole man. Let's just say it like that. I wasn't even allowed my phone during the day. It has to be locked away. Leave it in the safe. You're on holiday. I have to switch off. He says, photographing every aircraft that comes out. I think it's reference.
Yeah, I need my phone for the pictures.
That's it. That's it.
The cameras run out.
Yes, I've got no more room on my 32 gig SD cards. 4 of them that I took.
I'm really looking forward to the 32nd Typhoon build, although wasn't an earlier, like 1944 Typhoon build lined up, or has the mojo gone for that one?
No, Mojo's here. Originally, okay, the full story to this one is, before we do this, I was planning on doing it as a somewhat quick build. Me and the team guys, we all spoke about it, and I was going to do it as a quickie before I left. That was the original thing. So the little quickies you had instead, like the Sea Harrier and the Tumbler and the Hurricane, they were going to be bumped, and I was going to do that one in an in-flight pose with a motor in it, with it flying, and that way I wouldn't have to do an engine or all the internals and all the rest of it. But I couldn't, it's a kit of its complexity and everything else, and it would have been a cop-out just to do it as an external air show version. So I said, look, we'll forget it. I'll do the others. Got some other bits and pieces to get on with, which will give you guys enough whilst I'm away, and then when we come back and do it. And now I've been rethinking it. It's a case of, right, okay, I'm thinking about having it on the ground as if it's doing a ground run. So it's going to have a motor in it, so it can turn the prop whilst it's on the ground. Little diorama, engine cowls are off, and do it like that. That's the plan with it. But obviously, it needs a little bit of forethought with that one to work it out how it's going to be, and I don't want to just rush into it. And everything else. That said, I have got most of the stuff all for it. I've got the photo etch cockpit, the various bits and pieces that go with it, the dials and all that for it. So, and about 10 canopies. So, it is going to come along. It will be here. As I say, I know you guys, when you were talking about the list that the Halifax has been bumped, it gets so close, and then something's picked it. Like now, technically, the Starfighter, the F-104 has picked to the post by 1% or whatever it is, the Halifax again. Yeah, that was the last one out. So the chances are I will do the Halifax, because I know a lot of you enjoy the World War II stuff. Certainly looking at the stats, that's what I mean. It's like, the Hurricane was seen by almost 2,000 people have watched that one, whereas the Tumbler is a 300. Yep. So it was like, that's why I mentioned it in last night's video log, was that, have you actually watched it because you don't really want to watch it, or did you not know it's there? Because I haven't put it onto the forum. It has its own forum section and the various bits and pieces. But yes, but no, fear not on the Halifax. It will be along.
What is your view on the Airfix starter kits? Market employ or something really valuable to the model?
These are the new ones they've just released. I haven't seen them yet because I was away. Not that I was looking at my phone, but on my phone I did get the Airfix things about the new starter kits coming out and everything else. Steve, do you know about them?
I don't, unfortunately, no.
No, well, they're doing a range of starter kits now and all this various bits on there. As I say, I don't know much about them. I haven't had a chance to go around the trade pages yet and find everything out, but I will do. At the end of the day, the starter sets, I think where they put paints and all that in is a complete waste of time. You might as well just knock a fiver off the price of the kit, would be better. But from that point of view, if they're doing starter kits which are designed to bring people into the hobby, that's what starter kits are really there for. They're the type of kits that get chucked in for Christmas presents, birthday presents, and it's the one where the kid will go, yeah, that's nice, throw it to a corner, okay, and then give it a couple of months, get bored, and then it'll put it together. Hopefully he'll pick up the bug for it and then push through and perhaps want to do another one, perhaps come online, have a look around, and then develop from there. And that's what we need. We do need kids in the hobby and all the rest of it,
Because you're getting old now.
Well, this is it, yeah. I won't be here forever. Like the Hurricane, again, it's a bargain kit, but I wouldn't say it's a starter kit by a long shot, because it's quite complex. Don't get me wrong, I say in the video build for it that to me that's like the quality you'd find in a 132nd from the 90s. Now it's into a 148. You've got all those things you would always think. You've got technical details on the inside that you'll never see, but they're there. The way it goes together is quite complex. It's not a starter kit. I remember 148s for like cockpit floor, a seat, instrument panel, two halves together, sandwich wings, insert, one-piece tail on, gear on, job done. Some of my favourite kits were like that. The Tamiya 148 Mustang, I still maintain, is one of the finest kits ever. You could build it in half an hour, and then you could spend all the time painting it. But the kit itself was really good. Very straightforward, very simple, no problems with it going together. Airfix now running along, bringing out these types of kits. I'm assuming that the Spitfire is just the same, the Mark 1 that they've just done. And they are absolutely fantastic. And, I think they're retailing for around about £15, £18. They are a bargain. Everybody should go out and buy one. Everyone should build one, because they are really, really nice, real good kits.
Splendid.
Very nice.
It's half past.
It is half past. Right, okay, so
Dum dum dum.
First of all, I'm going to bore you all to death because you'll have to look at something. So, he says it, if I can just bring it up, which screen's it on? Oh, hold on. Let me cancel that one. God, which screen are we on? Why isn't it showing on that screen? Are we on a different screen here? Good. There we go. Right, okay. So, first of all, I'd just like to explain, whilst we are all here, so dearly beloved, as you gather around us today, see, that screen is definitely higher, isn't it? Why is that screen higher?
Yes. No, it is
I'm just hoping they can all see it at home as well. Right, guys, don't forget, we're all here for SNAP. SNAP is the special needs for the kids in Bridgewater. It's a private charity. You know about it. I go on about it every year. We try and do a little something for them every year. Every single year, you never fail us at all. You are usually, you know, and have been, again, very, very generous with everything. So, you know, these are the kids. This is what it's all about. You know, bless them. Going to be away with them in just under 4 weeks now. Amazing, I'm away again. I know. I didn't plan it like
this. Such life.
Yeah, it is, and everything else. But it's all about these kids. This is what it's for, and everything else. And it's not just them; it's their families as well. Because obviously they get taken away,
definitely.
And all the rest of it. Okay. So we've got some great prizes, as we've seen here. Your generosity that is put into all of this. I did have a list with everyone's name on it about 10 o'clock this morning, but I've lost it. So I'm just going to have to thank everybody for your generosity. So some of you guys, you've supplied airbrushes, you know, as I say, we know that's, you know, 150 quid. Your kits and everything else and the various bits and pieces. It's basically everything you see here, plus some other stuff. We've got the Flory Models hoodie. You're going to get the shirt as well. And the bear. You've got mouse mat, use it. No, you don't get me. But well, you do actually. Because if you're in the UK and I can drive it in an 8-hour round trip, you're going to get me as well. So as long as you've got the kettle on when I turn up, I'll be a happy man.
I'll join you, shall I?
Yeah, that's it. A road trip.
Yeah, the road trip.
Yeah, that's it, and everything else. So what I did, in my infinite wisdom, because my writing does look like a 2-year-old did it. Well, probably not as good as that. I've got in here everybody's, making sure none fall out. Everybody's name is on a printer. This is double-sided purely because it's got. I run out of paper. It's an old manual of mine that I printed on, but it's got your name, address, and all the bits and pieces on this here. They're all folded up and been put in here. So what I'm going to do is seal this up. Take them. But this is for dramatic effect, really.
You could get your hand in there.
Ah, you see, you little face. So what I'm going to do is that, and I'm going to cut a hole in it. And you put your hand in. Let me see, look, we don't need a tombola thing here. We're going to have a hand. I'm just waiting for your blade to break and then stab me.
You sure you haven't put a snake in there then?
Yeah, that's it. Mystery box. Okay, so you're all in here. I suppose I should have shook it. I think we actually had around about 400 people. About 350. All I know is it's 2 reams of paper plus a manual. So look, it's all in there, and then in the interest of everything, just mixing, you can pull the winner.
Oh, good.
Because I'm not taking the flag for this one.
Steve, you do it.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah,
Steve.
Yeah, hang
I've
on.
probably done that before, and somebody puts their hand through. So if you'd like to pull the winner, have a good old shuffle around.
Okay.
Right, okay. You have one, just one, yeah?
Just one.
Right, okay. So, go on then. And the winner of all this lucky stuff, plus the Heinkel, don't forget, God knows how we're going to get to you if you're in.
This is nice. No, that's not.
Yeah, it's going to sound funny, wouldn't it? Good job, I put you in, isn't it?
Is Robert Bailey.
And where's Robert from?
Robert Bailey is from Stirling.
Oh, Stirling. Jesus.
That's Big Bob.
Is that Bob?
Yeah.
Where we go. Bob Bailey, you lucky git. So there we go. I have to show the camera. So there we go. Hey Bob, you're not planning on coming down on holiday, are you? I suppose I should do that. It's got his address and everything all over it. Sorry, Bob. If you get a load of hate mail now, then you've got a phone number on it as well. But if it didn't on that one, no, you're right. I haven't got your phone number on it.
Right.
Oh, so well done, Bob. Congratulations to you. You have just won all this lot. Now, Bob, because I know you come down here sometimes. Do you planning on passing on a summer holiday? So if you are, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Or you can meet halfway.
Well, yeah.
We'll gate crash.
Yeah, we meet you at Steve's house. Yeah, we can do that one. Right, okay. Let me just write all these down, otherwise we could get really... Right, okay, fantastic. So, well done to you, Rob. I'm going to put a 1 in there. Congratulations. Right, I'm going to pick the next one. Yeah, we need one of those special ones with a little door that opens or something. Okay, so the next one, this is for a wash set. So that's a full set of Flory Models washes. And that, oh God, that's going to, I'm sorry, because I can't pronounce your name because you're from Poland. It's Przemysław Kasprzyk. I'm sorry, I am terrible at that. Could you pronounce that? I'd say I get the one that is. Oh, yeah. Thanks for that. So I'll just spell it anyway. First name is Przemysław. Second name Kasprzyk.
We make a white pair, don't we?
We are. We're terrible at this. We need to go to language schools. I've lost my pen now. There we go. So I'm just going to put Poland. Okay. But it just shows we could go anywhere with this one. So thank you very much as well to you guys for donating as well, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Okay, so that's number 2. Right, you can pick 3. Okay, this is for the full set of Flory Model Sanders. Okay.
How much of your thingy did you destroy?
There's only one manual, one part of the manual. I think that must be the flight manual used for that one. Oh, good, you got a bad one as well.
Well, I want to say Graham, but it's not pronounced as Graham.
So yeah, Graham.
It is Graham, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's spelled a different way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's green.
So it's Graham Bates.
Well done, Graham. Graham is actually one of the guys who comes down to our member meets occasionally.
Oh, there you go.
So well done to you.
Yay.
That would have been handy if he'd won.
It would have been
2 hours up the road. Perfect. Right.
That wouldn't be number 3 then.
Right. I'm trying to do this quite officially because otherwise, you know what we're like. We'll get on with the show and I'll forget who won. We'll have a redraw. Sorry, we've got an R1 3.
I was going to say, I wonder why you've put an R.
There's R3, obviously. I know what I'm on about.
R2,
I've got it down here as well, so we're okay. Right. Okay. This is for the pigments.
No, you draw this one.
Oh, my drawing. Oh, yeah. I just thought that was right. Sorry. You spin art. High tech. Right. Okay. Okay. So this is Stephen Nimitz. Good name. Okay. Admiral 69. That's a good name. Nimitz. Admiral Nimitz. Brilliant. Okay. Well done to you. You win a full set of pigments. Well done. And you're in the USA as well. So well done, Steve. Steve, I remember his name. That's a good name, man. Steve Nimitz. Okay, so you're number 4. Well, if you don't know the duplicate one, my panic was that somebody was going to get this twice.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's just one.
Yeah, sometimes they stick to each other. So this is the last one. Right, this is for a year's subscription to Flory Models. This one
is Robbie McCauley.
Rob McCauley.
Rob McCauley, which is from Lancashire.
Oh, he's in the UK as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Rob. Let's do that. Number 5. What I'll do, Rob, I'll send you a well, I take it, I don't even know if you remember. I think you are. I will send you a message. If you're not a member, shoot me a message. I'll email you anyway, because I've got your email address down here and all the rest of it. And we'll set you up with obviously a free account for the year. And if you haven't got one, we'll set you up with your free account. and we can do it like that. So congratulations, everybody.
Well done, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Obviously, on behalf of Snap, it really does mean the world to them.
It
And
certainly
everything
does.
else. And it's great. And I must admit, it jogs the old heartstrings as well, because you guys are really generous. And as I say, we've done it again. We're almost at £3,000 again. So absolutely fantastic. Bob, Jesus, God, sterling. Mind you, it could be worse. Could be even further up. Don't know how, because it'd be much further than what we've been here. Absolutely. But congratulations to all the winners and everything else like that. Well done, everybody.
We'll just have to meet some crash at Steve's.
Yeah, I think we're going to meet at
Yeah.
Steve's then. So, right, Steve.
Have a nice presentation at Steve's place.
Yeah, because Steve's got a nice curry house down the
Yeah,
road from
very,
him.
very nice curry house.
So we can go down there. And we can do it. But Bob's been here on holiday. He holidays in North Devon, so he has been here. Actually, there's a story behind this. Bob is the first person to ever come in here. We hadn't even finished it, and he came down. So I was working on this, putting it together when he was down on holiday. So he was actually the first member in here. And I don't know if we had desks, so these were even in it. That one. Yeah.
Right.
So, yes.
Very nice.
Indeed. So well done, Bobby.
Congratulations.
Fantastic. Well done to Poland. Graham, well done to you as well, to Green, Steve and Rob. Well done to all of you. Fantastic. Phew, it seems like it's been hanging around for ages, all of this.
All done.
And now it's all done. It's going to be really quiet in here. I'm going to have so much room as well, because this has all been down there for the last sort of 6 months.
Hopefully, at least you won't have to dismantle it too much, though.
No, well, I'm hoping I'm not going to have to dismantle it at all, because it would be nice not to try and take the gear off. And, you know, the rest of it, the aerials and that, I think, you know, he's a good modeler. He can put it back together. He'd be fine. But no, well done, everybody. And as I say, thank you all very much for the donation of all the books, the kits, the paints, airbrushes, and everything else. As I say, very generous. Thank you all very, very much. I have done a full list of everybody who's donated and bought a ticket as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the Snap page, and you're all going to get your names on there as well for prosperity, forever and ever.
Indeed.
And everything else like that. And what I'll do is I'm going to do a little bit of a thing with the kids, hopefully whilst we're away on holiday when they get the check and things like that. So I'll give them the 8 pence worth of interest that it'll probably gain in the next 4 weeks. By the time it's taxed on, it'll only be 7 pence anyway. So yeah. Never mind. There we go. Fantastic.
Splendid.
Well done, everybody. Right. More questions?
On to post 5, which is from Peter. Greetings, gents. Didn't think this was going to be on until the show started.
Hey, we have started.
Didn't think this was going to be on until the show started.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
I'm amazed by the number of new and announced releases. It's getting to a stage when my wish list is empty, and that includes a couple of things I know about but haven't been announced yet.
How do you know about it? If it hasn't been announced, how does he know? He must be a technical business insider.
All we need now is a mojo pill. Get the chemistry sets out, chaps. Have a great show.
I'll tell you, Mojo Pill, I think Steve will agree with me, just go and buy a Bandai Star Wars kit. Because they just fall together. It's like, you know, sometimes you buy a kit and you know it's going to be a pain to put together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like anything from Kitty Hawk, say. You know, and then if you just tell yourself that, you know, it's going to be a fantastic kit and it's going to go together like a Bandai one, and that gives you great mojo to push forward.
So I'm looking forward to buying one.
I'm never going to build a Katie Hawk kit again.
If you're getting any in stock, then you'll
on the mill side of things, I don't know at the moment. As I say, they're still trying to work a deal with that side of things.
Because I'm definitely after them.
I must admit, you know, again, as I said before, no glue, no nothing, and it's great. So absolutely. Now, if they bring out the ATAC, the big one, then I'm going to be a happy bunny.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't
it? Yeah, on Hobbylink Japan side, they did a video for the latest big trade stall, Japan, and there is actually footage of an ATAC that's all legs moving, everything.
Yeah, I saw that one from the show earlier in the year. But the trouble is, everybody I've spoken to about it, they have said that yes, it's done and everything else, but they're not sure it's going to come to market. No, why would you do that?
Yeah.
That's like, you know, why do all that effort? So it is going to come to market. Yeah, that's it. But I must admit, it is a bit of a wind-up, but I'm assuming it is going to come to market, because why would you design it, build it, and it's a walking one as well. Yeah. It has a framework. The very clever thing about it is you there's a pole, an acrylic pole that comes down, and it's on a stand, so it's not weighted on its legs. Dog, out. Lola, get out. Sorry, dog's about destroying the place. And the idea is then it can move. It looks like it's walking and everything else. And if you need to, I tell you what you want to do, guys. There is a sound effects thing now which I've been listening to on YouTube, which is really good. And I've got it for this, which I know is really cheesy. But you can have 12 hours of the sound of one of these walking. But they do it for the AT-AT, but also they do it for the starships. You can have sound effects. I was looking at sound for various things. That's how I found it. For almost anything, because there's people who have done synthesized sounds and various things. But one of them is one of these walking. And it says like 12 hours of an ATST walking, and that's what it sounds like. You can hear it. But also they do it for the AT-AT. They do it for all the Star Wars stuff. So like TIE Fighter sounds, you know, it just cruising and doing various things and firing and that. So go on YouTube and just type in sound effects. Or ambient sound, they call it. That's what you want to put in. You want to put in ATST ambient sound 12 hour. They do one for the AT-AT as well and everything else. It'd be great. Can I read? Brilliant.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I get too much time on my hands. That's what you get for coming back and start doing admin work. I'm terrible. I don't do admin work, and I end up, I'll just have a look on YouTube when I should be doing, like, you know, all the paperworky bits.
Look at that hour ago.
Yeah, and it is. It's like, close up the time. Never mind. All good.
Next one is from Dennis. Evening, guys, and nice to have you back again, Phil.
Evening.
Can't wait for the Revel 32nd Typhoon. Have you considered doing a video build of the Kitty Hawk OV-10 Bonko at the same time?
Was it you? Good. It's not me. Yeah, to be honest, it's a big lump. We've seen it here. We saw one here when we did our members thing, because one of our members did one of the pre-production shots for a magazine. It's a lovely looking aircraft and all the rest of it. It's just very big. It's the same size as the Heinkel. So it is a fair old lump, really. And again, it's Kitty Hawk. And let's face it, I think I've done my share, you know, of Kitty Hawk kits. You know, having done the Jaguar, now the Harrier, the FRS-1. If you saw it, was out yesterday. No. The mock, well, the build-up looks like Stevie Wonder built it again. I don't know who does their builds for them, but really, you know. And it proves my theory, because on their test shots of the FRS-1, which is quite nice because you've got a ladder on this one and all the rest of it. But the thing is that the canopy, you can see, doesn't fit correctly. It's too narrow, because you can actually see big plastic marks around it and all the rest of it. But yeah, I don't know who does their test builds for them, but it looks like, you know, they could do with a little bit of cleanup, shall we say, on some of the parts, because the tabs are still hanging out from the screws, and that's why the wings won't go together and stuff. So it's like, oof. But no, after seeing a couple of the guys on the forum are working on the F-35, aren't they? God, that's put me off. Have you seen the guy? Sorry, I can't remember your name. One of you guys is working on the F-35 at the moment, and you're having trouble with some of the fit issues, shall we say. That's not fit issues. That's just like couldn't be bothered. You know, whoever designed it were like, oh, it's close. That dude, it's fine. It's like, oh, terrible.
He's saying he's got his OV-10D kit just last week, and it really looks nice. Hopefully the fit is better than the Jag.
Well, it can't be much worse. Theoretically, I know, and I spoke about it when we did the last one. Each kit I built in order of manufacture has got better, because the Jaguar is actually a couple of years back now. So
isn't that one of the members brought here?
Yeah. John brought his before it got released. Yeah.
I also noticed I am a seasonal modeler. I am spending far more time in the hobby room in the winter time than in the summer. Maybe it is just that there is more work to do outside the house in the summer, but I think this is just a lame excuse. I hope I can still finish my Middle Eastern group build in time. That model has been sitting on my workbench since late February, as I had to do a commission build in between, and then it became spring outside. So yeah, I must admit, I've not got much left to do on mine, but it's sort of taken one side at the moment.
I think what happens is, from a point of view from me, it's quite interesting because obviously I see the overall stats of the site. Obviously, I've got like a flow chart, and it shows me everybody who comes to the site, the members who come to the site, and then obviously people who come in back into the site again. So they pop out and come back. So you can see a good idea of the traffic that's going along. And it is true, you get to sort of around about, for our point of view, normally end of October, November definitely, and the chart literally just goes up. It literally just goes absolutely ballistic, no problem at all. And then we're going to go along, and normally we get to around about May, April, and then you'll see the slow descent, and that's just where people aren't coming onto the site. Not so much in the UK, because let's face it, the weather's crap. You know, so it doesn't really matter. But for you guys who are in sort of, you know, more temperate, you know, proper weather climates like the US, things like that, you tend to have more seasonal sports and hobbies and things like that. So I know a lot of you, you know, obviously recreational wise are out and about, so you'll start doing those types of things rather than being in the man cave in the, you know, the dungeon, so to speak, and locked away. And that's obviously the trend that follows. You know, certain countries, when you look at the systems, when you know, really look in depth at the figures from the site and YouTube as well, looking at how we interact with that, you know, you can actually see quite a flow with the seasons as it goes. You know, so obviously in other countries on obviously the south of the equator, where it's the other way round, you see it going the other way. So I think that's what it is. And also, when it's nice weather outside and it's hot, the last thing you want to do is stuffed in modelling and all the rest of it. Because I remember doing commission work when I didn't have to have stupidly massive bright heated lights, but still you'd have the fan on you and you spray and paint and it's going on like sandpaper because it's just so hot and dry. And the last thing you want to do, you know, when the kids are outside playing in the pool, you know, you really want to be stuck inside. And I think that's why definitely there is a seasonal slant to the hobby.
Definitely. Dean, which is post 7, how held troops. He's put a picture up.
Oh God! You want to go in the picture?
Well, if you fancy, you know, going that far, so to speak.
Right. Okay. I've got to find our thing. Yeah. Oh God, it's on a different tab, is it? Right. Okay. Hold that thought. It's all right. I'm a professional. Somewhere.
Welcome back, Phil. Your holiday looked awesome. My question for tonight is, how do I weather and cut the decals so that the undercoat of my half track shows through?
Right, hold on guys, because I'm out of position. I need to get to the main frame and just to load this through. Oh, there we go. Feel like last time we was in here, we only had 11.
That's the one.
Oh, that is the one. That's
the picture.
See, look, I'm good at this. Anyone would think we've done this before.
I mean, because you don't have to take your mouse with you. You got 2 of them.
Oh yeah, see, total professionals here. There we go.
That's the one.
Phew.
Yeah, so the question was, how do you cut in the decals so that the undercoat of the half truck shows through? So I'm assuming that includes like the chipping.
Yeah, so the chipping shows through.
Chipping on the actual decals as well.
Stephen, how would you do it?
One way I'd use, you can sand the decals to give them that worn effect. When you put the decal on, you could use maybe a scalpel blade just to chip away and remove a bit of the decal that's on there. What I would suggest, if you do a lot of armour, I'd consider buying a template. You can get a lot of, for German markings, you can buy templates where you spray on your own markings. That way you can vary, you know, whether they're opaque, faded. You can apply a chipping fluid before you put them, spray the markings on. So I'd look at that option if you do a lot of armour. But yeah, definitely try using a bit of sandpaper to sand the decal away, or just use a knife just to scratch it.
Yeah, I must admit, I suppose if I was doing it, I would probably go along that thing of scratching it as well. You know, just make jaggy little try and mirror how you can see the chip go in and then comes out, and just try and, you know, almost tear the decal into submission and do it. Or the other way, of course, is to, with a very small, very fine brush, go over the top with chip colour to blend it through.
Yeah.
Which is a way I used to do it a few years ago. I'm probably more inclined to try and get in there and do it. But that's the only trouble with chipping. See, all other types of weathering for fading and stuff, you can do post the decal on there. But when it comes to chipping, obviously you need the decal on top of the chip. You know, can't do much about that.
Yeah. There's another in the picture.
Oh.
This next one as well. Is that one?
Right. Okay.
There's a couple. Welcome back, guys. Seems like forever since the last live show, but we have all been busy. Here's a picture of my entry into Where's My Top Sig. Weathered using Flory washes, rust, dark dirt, and grime.
Very nice. Very good. The old brain carrier, isn't it?
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Tamiya did that, didn't they?
Yeah. Tamiya's one, I think. Is that Tamiya's one, Steve? I think.
It could be.
Yeah. Sorry, we're too far away to be able to read what it says if you've got on there that it's Tamiya's. But yeah, no, nice little kit those are. Something a little bit different as well, you know. No, very nice indeed.
Next one is post 9, which is from Mike. Hi guys, no questions tonight. Glad you're all back safe and sound. It looks like you had a great time. Just wanted to let you know that I love the little X-Wing build so much I ordered one on Amazon. I hope Mel is feeling better. Cheers, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. I must admit, as you say, that's going to be my kit of the year unless something comes along. It was one of those real good mojo builds.
Bring in the big one. Yes.
Not that I'm not saying or might have said, but you know, might have to wait around about Christmas, possibly, allegedly.
The 18th.
No, it might be a bit before, but that's if they was to bring out something like that or anything else.
So
they probably won't now.
Post 10 is from Kevin. Hi everyone, good to have you back. Hope Mel is feeling better today. The holiday looked amazing.
Thank you.
While you were away, became engrossed in the Hurricane build. What it made me think is there any need to pre-shade anymore? The dry brushing with oil technique would seem to make this stage redundant.
Yes.
Especially where a multi-coloured camouflage scheme is involved.
Mm-hmm.
No need to worry about the amount of pre-shading to leave showing, making the laying down of the camos a lot easier.
Yeah.
Another diamond from Flory Models.
Yeah, now the thing is, I've been asked this quite a bit, and there's two schools of thought with it is, and the way I say it, you know, I say two schools, my way of dealing with this, okay? The thing is, pre-shading, a lot of people, and let's just simply say the more seasoned modelers will tell you shouldn't do it, okay? Purely because it's a waste of time, because you should do it all post, because weathering builds up after the paintwork goes on, things like that. All right. Now, I think that's rubbish, purely because if you're not very good at your paintwork and things like that, and the reason I teach it, so to speak, and I show you guys, and I've just harped on about it for years, is you can put it down worry-free. And I try and teach you guys and show you guys the simplest ways to do things. And all right, I will say, I think a lot of the stuff you read in magazines is completely overcomplicated crap. And I feel quite strongly about it because I had a conversation with a couple of guys just before I went away. That somebody was on about a build in a certain magazine in a certain country, and I was like, really? Why prig around with all of that rubbish when you can just do it A, B, and C and the job's done? It seemed to overcomplicate the thing. That said, if you want to do it that route, you can do. But all I would say, things like I showed you on the Hurricane, if you're confident, with your skills and you're thinking, okay, then no problem, then obviously you could do that, the weathering effect like we did with the oils over the panels to blend in, things like that, and for the staining, you could actually do that with an airbrush and just pop around and post shade. And to be honest, when I do my commission work and I'm in a hurry, that's what I'll do. I'll just simply, a bit of X19, Tamiya smoke, and just go around. You can do the same thing, but you've got to be extremely careful on how you're doing it, because one cough spit you get wrong, you've made a bit of a mess that you're going to have trouble coming back from. Pre-shading, what that does, it enables you to, one, practice your airbrushing, because you are having to be quite accurate going around, and it is good practice. And it's one of those things. It doesn't matter. You can put it down. You can go over the top with it. You can be quite minimal with it. There is no right or wrong. Okay. And then when you go over the top of it, you can then blend it by the amount of paint going through, the heaviness, the coats, all the rest of it to exactly how you want, all right? And then you can then just walk away and say, yeah, that's fine, we're going to leave it like that. So really, it's a worry-free way because, technically, then you're going to come in and do other colours over the top and everything else, and you might lose it, so you're going to have to put it back in. But at least you've got a good starting point. So, for example, on something like this lump, which we did under here, obviously we've got a mixture down there all over of actually, pre-shading and post-shading all in there to give that all-over effect. So I think it definitely still has its place of doing it. With that one, because I was under the gun and trying to do it as quickly as I possibly could, I was like, I haven't got time to pre-shade it, we're just going to go through and I'm going to do the oil job to show you guys a simple way of reproducing, to be honest, what we were trying to do over the camo pattern and put all of that in there and to grime it down, because to be honest, I wasn't totally convinced that that brown was a good colour once it was on, and I needed to key it down. So I thought by giving it the sort of oil scrub over the top and doing those things, it will wear it down, which it did, luckily, and everything else. But I just think, if you wanted to do it that way all the time, you could do it that way, no problem at all. And just, as I say, rubbing in, just blending in and everything in those oils is really nice. If you're in a hurry though, it's not the quickest way. Certainly the thing you have to remember with that one, I was quite lucky because I did it last and I've been away for 3 weeks. I've come back now and it's completely dry. But with those oils, you're always going to have that thing where they're always going to be wet for months afterwards, and that is the only trouble when you're using oils. To be honest, this interior, which you'll see when the video comes out, I did all with oils as well, right the way over it. But then I had to get the hairdryer out and dry it before I could dry brush it, because I used an oil wash just to whip around everywhere. And then I stood there with a hairdryer for half an hour trying to get the oils to dry off and thinking, why didn't I just do it in ink wash? Because I could have been getting on with it by now. But because I had the oils out at the time, it was like, oh, I'll just do it in oils. But oils are slower than using ink and your more traditional ways of doing it. But like all modelling, everything has its place. And I think sometimes it's handy to try something new. Sometimes I'll try something new and it's like brilliant and I'll stick with it, like using the oils recently. I've done it a lot. Other things I'll try and think didn't like it. Too much hassle for not a lot of going, and go back to the sort of more of the old school way of doing it. I know guys who love pastels a lot and they'll use pastels for all your weathering and stuff like that. I know guys who just use exclusively oils. I know guys will use a little bit of everything, So it's just a personal way of doing it. But yeah, appreciate it. I still think it has its place. It's a good starting base that you can sort of, go on with, something like that.
Where are you running off to?
I've got my hand on my phone at that point. What do you think, Steve, with the old oils and ways of doing it?
Yeah. Well, with pre-shading again, I always think when I'm starting with my paintwork through weathering, I like to build it up in layers. So I do think pre-shading, by putting that down, it gives a kind of depth to your paintwork. You get the building up the shadows, the shading. I also like to post-shade with the paints. And that's where I do most of my fading at that stage with the paintwork. When I go on to add oils, enamel washes, stuff like that, that's when I'm using them to grime up the model, give the dirt and, the worn appearance, rust effects. And that's what I use them for. I don't really use them to start fading the paintwork. So it's mainly for adding grime and dirt effects.
Yeah.
That I use oils for. But each technique, it's a matter of finding what works best for you, and go with that. I think, like we were saying about magazines, they do overcomplicate things, and they do waffle a lot. And you think, what the hell are they on about? You need to keep things nice and simple. Find what works best for you, and you won't go too far wrong. And also, I think, don't be afraid to try new techniques. If you go wrong, depending what product it is, wipe it off or just spray over it. Go for it.
Yeah. I must admit, I always, when I do the builds, I try and show something different each time. It might be something quite subtle. It might be something completely new, like using the oils recently, using the pigments, things like that. Traditionally, I would have just stuck to sort of, weathering washes and done it that way. But, obviously you do get criticism. People say, oh, you're just using your products, you're pushing your products. So sometimes I, try and take a step back from it. And that's why recently I use things like using the oils, because, they're not anybody's product. You can just buy them 2 a penny anywhere, to show that you can get weathering effects without having to go out and buy branded items. You don't need to go and buy these expensive weathering sets for one color of paint, and then these modulation sets, which I still think are a con, and everything else. But at the end of the day, everything has its place, and obviously you're going to get people who like to do it. So if you've gone out and bought, I don't know, AK or Ammo or whoever's weathering modulation sets, which they do, if you get on with that particular style, and you can afford it, and it's not a problem, then fair play. At the end of the day, you're trying to get the best looking model you can with the techniques and then every now and again, I try and usually just try something a little bit different, have a go at something new. Sometimes it works, and to be honest, sometimes it doesn't. As you know, I will show you if it doesn't. You'll see it if it works. If it doesn't, it works first. And then sometimes I'll do something, and I'll say it doesn't work, and then you'll tell me, but it does work because you've done blah blah blah. And that's the thing. It's a very much a personal thing, modelling. Something where one person can pick up an airbrush and post shade an aircraft. You might get another person who would never dream of doing it at that late stage. By the time you got all your markings on and your deckling and everything else like that, last time, people would think of doing is going and then spraying over the top of your model to blend it all in and everything else. And, I appreciate that. So I try and give you sort of workarounds that you can do it a different way. So, for instance, if you wanted to fade back your paintwork, but you don't want to go over it with an airbrush again, then you could try the oils to blend in and knock back, like we're using the grey colour. When I did the Oils 101 on the, wherever it is, it's over there, the Mosquito, just to fade back that paint and to give it panel lines and everything else, and then do like we did with the Hurricanes, obviously go around and give it that post-shaded effect, because at any point you could get it off, and wipe it off and start again. And all those things. So it's just little things, try little techniques. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The only thing I try and do with all of my models, if I've done something and it doesn't work, I want to know why. I'm not one of these, it didn't work, I didn't bother. I will then spend frickin' ages. I want to know why it didn't work. What did I do wrong, or what was thing? And it could be something really subtle, like something I found when I was working with the pigments that I found. I don't even know if I've got it here still, but odorless thinners. I don't know if I've got them here, but I think I've got rid of it because it's not used. But odorless thinners, or low odor thinners, doesn't like pigments, or doesn't like our pigments, the Flory Models ones anyway, because for some reason it goes slightly gritty. As it dries gritty. But if you use straightforward enamel, or something like a pigment fixer, which is enamel based, and not one of these low odor ones, no problem at all. It will blend it and it stays there, no problem at all. But that's something I found, and it was like, well, why is that? Why is it gone gritty? And I have found it's low odor thinners. I did have a giant bottle somewhere. I don't know it now. But
got something in it.
Yeah, there's something in there that it just doesn't like it. And as it dries, it starts to craze, and then it looks gritty, and it's not very nice at all. And now I know what it is, so I can say, right, okay, that particular product doesn't work. So on we go, So everybody has their little tweaks and things. So
post 11 is from Dave. Hi guys, great to have you all back. Just a heads up regarding the Bandai Star Wars models. I got these from Hobby Link Japan and had them sent, in brackets, sell, and wasn't charged for customs. Yes, they took longer to get here, but didn't get the dreaded note from Royal Mail. P.S. Hope Mail is feeling better.
Yeah, there's definitely a better chance, shall we say, of not getting caught if you do their standard. I don't know what it is. It's like 10 or 30-day delivery. I've never known it to take 30 days. It normally takes about just over sort of 2 weeks normally. But I've still had a Royal Mail letter. But we were discussing this before we came on air, actually, me and Steve, and I think I'm on a list. It's just they see Flory models at Royal Mail, and it's like, that's it. Because no matter what I get from anywhere, I've just been flagged on a system. You know, I had some stuff come from China, and then yeah, lo and behold, and in fact, I had something from FedEx the other week, and I thought I got away with it because hey, it turned up, and it was like, oh, that's quite handy. And then I got a letter from FedEx saying, you know, customs due afterwards, and I was thinking, can they even do that? But I suppose they can, so I had to then pay FedEx. So yes.
Post row is from Monique. Hi guys, good to have you all back online. Hope you enjoyed the Holesville.
Very much.
Cough, cough, 24 Typhoon build. Cough, cough.
See, everyone's coughing. Well, they'd be surprised if I suddenly do it at the same time as the other Typhoon. Not as surprised as I'd be. I don't know if I could get both on here. I suppose I could do. I could work both sides of the bench. Oh, yeah.
Post 13 is from Alan. Hello, campers. Heidi, hi, and welcome back. First of all, hope men is well on the mend and didn't put too much of a dampener on the holidays.
Luckily, I have to say this, she was a complete trooper because she managed to hold it off until we got home. It was only literally Saturday she started to feel a little bit woozy, and obviously we got back late. Well, we actually got home around about 7:30 on Friday night. You know, 30 hours later after we left Hawaii.
You didn't cook her a meal, did you?
No. But who did we fly back with? America? No, United we flew back on. Hey, I haven't told you a story. You know that thing where people say about it, they get bumped up?
Yeah.
Well, we got bumped up on 2 flights coming back. So yeah, I had leg room. I could actually sit with my leg out, and it didn't cost a penny extra. When we do it, because it's all automated checkout, you see. So you put your thing, and it says, you know, you can go into like. That's where we were. No, it wasn't quite at the front of the plane, but we were getting close. You know, we passed the chickens and sheep running around. And so anyway, it was like, yeah, okay, and you can upgrade to Premium Plus, so you get extra wide seats and the leg room and like probably an inch bigger telly. Not like the 21-inch ones they have in first class. But yeah, so anyway, it was like, oh no, I'm not paying that. So anyway, as it goes through, we get through, and they said, oh, we bumped you up anyway because coach is full. Oh, thank you very much. So we did. So we had 3 seats to ourselves on the plane coming back, whilst everyone else was in the back like this. Flying out, we were like this, admittedly, but coming back, and then because obviously we did a flight from Hawaii to LA, we had a stopover in LA, and then for 3 hours, and then caught the plane 777 coming back from LA to Heathrow. So yes, had a bit more leg room, which was very nice.
The photos are fantastic, and we look forward to seeing more. Looks like you had a wonderful time, and you certainly deserved it.
I could have our own show. You know that thing where you dread with somebody says, "Oh, come round and see the holiday photos." 2 weeks time, the Flory Flo's holiday adventure.
I think I'll give the barbecue a miss.
What's that, Steve?
I said I'll give your barbecue a miss this year then.
No, it's compulsory. Everyone's going to have to sit here. This cost the holiday cost a freaking fortune. I'll get me money's worth.
So I would put a slideshow on.
Yeah, that's it. Continuously running. I'm going to have a projector on the side of the house. Give it a sense of scale. No. What we do, 2 weeks time, new show. It's going to be Flo's Adventures. Now, you guys who don't follow my Facebook, we took Flo the bear with us, didn't we?
I saw, yeah.
So everywhere we went, we took him around to various locations, and he was sat around doing everything.
However, I am shocked that Flo managed not to go toilet all the way through the holiday.
Yeah, well, did you want a photo of that?
Well, I thought he was going to take pictures of everything.
Well, not everything, everywhere.
Oh, no,
he's in every hotel bedroom. The only thing is, he did almost fall off a very large cliff, which is about 4,000 feet, or certainly felt like it.
Did you give him a parachute?
No, because he was sat on there. There was a gust of wind, and he was a bit like, Jesus, keep hold of the bear.
And there's Mel's eyes going, not more stuff going out the window. Right, secondly, nice to see Doc Sid. And wish all the best for the new venture.
That's it. Doc Sid. So right now, if we're ever having a members thing or anything whatsoever, we'd say, you know, we need a doctor, you're it.
I must admit, I got really close to stabbing somebody with a needle over the weekend. Somebody beat me to it.
Fun?
Oh no, she needed the needle.
Oh.
But somebody beat me to it. So.
You didn't get to stick someone.
No.
Well, we did that thing in the hospital, you know, and they're like, oh, can we take some blood? So from Mel, couldn't find the needles, had to do it in the back of their hand, and then they come out and said, oh, sorry, we made a mistake, we need some more.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, great. start fishing.
Which probably means that the lab made it all blood clots.
Oh, was it?
That's what it normally means.
So we just need to borrow some more.
We normally get a phone call from the lab saying, yeah, that sample that you sent down is clotted.
Oh.
And it's normally because they've taken so bloody long to try and do it that it's all clotted.
Oh, that's what it is, because they had to get another load out of that, which by the look of it was at least a leg full.
Not forgetting the Sailor Steve and the magnificent Missouri. Question. I thought the next planned typhoon was to be a single-seater with a windmill at the front and not a two-seater with a vacuum cleaner.
Right, this is where I'm going to get loads of stick now, isn't
You
it?
are.
So,
In a picture, that's right.
hold this space. To seeing as you lot are bothered to sit here and watch us, perhaps I will adjust things slightly for my planned execution of what I was going to do, and perhaps we're going to have a typhoon month. So perhaps I'll do both together at the same time. At least I can't get the parts confused.
Well, I suppose there is that.
You know, one's going to be great.
That'd be quite funny.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I might adjust because I want to do the idea is I want to do the typhoon in flight because it's too big, as I now know with all the others, to actually be on the ground. Which is a shame because it has got that nice engine and all the rest of it. But no, they're going to go into it. So I was going to put in the LED lighting system for those ones from, was it Magic Scale Lighting people? Because I've got a set of theirs down there and I think it will look pretty good because you can do like an engine glow, various things. So I was thinking about doing something like that. And then with the Typhoon, the proppy one, the windmill, I was planning on that one as doing it so it looked like it was doing a ground power test. You know, I was going to try and find some figures who can sit on the tail, for instance, whilst it's doing the engine run-up. So the idea was it would have the cowls off and everything else with the prop turning on a little diorama. That was the idea for it. So, yeah, leave it with me, everyone. I will have a go. That just means the Halifax now gets bumped. So I was planning on doing the Halifax at the same time. So.
Post 14 is from Adrian. I do apologise. It's nothing to do with you, Adrian, but I just can't take that name seriously.
What? It's his second name?
No, Adrian.
Oh, Adrian. What?
I just picture Adrian from Airsoft putting all his camo on.
Well, yeah. Oh, he's qualified now, isn't he? Didn't he pass out the other day from the Navy?
Yeah.
Saw his photos. Well done, Adrian.
Well, it's quite funny.
Very smart.
I just put a bit of camo on, and then all of a sudden his whole face was covered.
Could you not see him anymore?
No.
Just disappeared.
Just his white.
He's like the Cheshire Cat, just a grin.
It's good to see you all back. Hope you're all rested and ready to go. So I need advice. Oh, he's got in a picture.
Cool.
I need advice on this rather bright model. I'm about to start the huge decal sheets and was hoping you may have some tips for me. It's the Revel 32nd Phantom flight test. I saw it at Telford and was lucky enough to have it bought for Christmas.
Very nice. Absolutely.
So what's the decals on it for? Is it like an all-over thing, is it?
I can't remember what the decals is. Actually, it would be handy if you had a picture to go with it. Isn't it like a tiger one on this one, Steve?
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
I'm just thinking orange, so I don't know if it has like the tiger markings with it. Yeah, we need a picture of the finished thing would help.
Flight test is
to give us our
title for it.
Yeah, but then it's just specialist markings for it. Yeah, without seeing what they are. The only thing is, the general bit of advice is, if you're going to be doing a big decal job like this, gloss it. Get it nice and shiny, all the rest of it, because it's going to be shiny anyway, so it doesn't matter about it. That way you've got the best possible surface for your decals going onto it in the first place, okay? And that will save you a lot of, you know, silvering problems and stuff like that. And also, just generally moving the decal around on the surface of the plane will be a lot easier and kinder. You're less likely to tear it if it's sliding over a glossy surface and all the rest of it. Secondly, is patience. Do it in sections. Don't just run in and put them everywhere, because you end up then knocking them, sticking your finger in it, dragging it. We're all guilty of it. To be honest, I even did it to the Hurricane. I made a complete screw up on the side because I grabbed hold of it and then was good couple of minutes, came away and it stuck to my finger and it had all gone horrendous. So I had to put my finger, I'm about to stop that so I can show you. I had the decal put up on this side on my finger and it was all chewed up and melted in. So I put my hand inside the water and was poking at it with a brush to get it to come off. and amazingly managed to get it back on, and then sort of stretched it and pushed it all back in to get it to go on, and you can't really notice it now. So, but yeah, it was a lucky one. It's the other side. It's that one there.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
No, you're all right. That's pretty good. You're going to rush off now. Look at the reveal photos, but it was a bit close how that was going to go. And do you know then what I did? Just to cap it off, 10 minutes later, I put the roundel on, did the same thing. Came off with the roundel, but luckily that was quite a straightforward one. But you'd think, after getting the up bit and doing it, 10 minutes later, do it again. But yeah. But generally, when you're doing your deckling, preparation, if it's going to be a big deckling job, like I've done with some of mine in the past, just heavily gloss it, let that totally dry for a couple of days, make sure it's cured and gone off, and then nice load of water onto your model, slide the decals, get them into position, and then you can do your fine adjustments to where they are, cotton bud to roll them away, and then do like a wing, and then put your set and soles on it and all the rest of it, seal it down, get it to snuggle down, then the next day come back in, do the next wing, do the next bit. I've done F-18s when they're covered in decals all over, especially tiger stripes, and it's never going to be a quick job. You're going to need to take your time and just working through it gently and doing it and everything else. Also with things like that, just remember where you're grabbing it, because you could end up getting it wrong. Yeah, but it's looking good so far. Nice colour scheme.
Yep, definitely.
Nice with the black and
And
the orange.
it looks like it's got a nice gloss coat on it already.
Yeah, very nice.
Post 15 is from David Smith. Hi guys, welcome back. Quick question. I'm having issues with Tamiya paint. I primed a figure with a Valero poly primer, left it to dry for a couple of weeks, but when I tried to brush on Tamiya NATO black, it doesn't stick to the primer very well. If I go back over the black after a few minutes, it just lifts off. I made sure it was mixed completely, used my Badger paint mixer. What am I doing wrong? Thanks again, and it's good to have you all back. Cheers, Dave.
Sounds to me like it's more of a primer issue. Sounds like the primer is repelling the Tamiya paint. Did he say the polyurethane stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel guilty because I sort of endorsed that when it came out, and I've sort of really, really grown to hate it. It seemed quite good. When I first had it, I did the review. I sat right where you were and did that review. That's how well I remember it. And I sprayed it onto Buster's wing section, wherever that's gone, and flooded it, and it went on beautifully, and it looked a bit of a mess, and then came back an hour later, and it had all dried, and it had gone in those recesses, and gave a fantastic finish, no problem at all. But God, is it a pain with everything else? It just, you say you can't sand it. I've had issues with other paints with it as well. Not so much like that. What you're sort of describing seems a little bit more than I've had troubles with it. But generally, it's, I don't know, it was almost this sort of wonder product, and then actually it's crap. Now everyone's gone out and bought it because I said so. So I owe everybody now $5 for a bottle of primer to tell them to buy it.
Post 16, which is the first one on page 2, which is from Mark Roberts. Evening, gents. Welcome back, Phil and Mel. Hope Mel is feeling better, and hope your new job is going well, Sid. It is. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm going to work after I finish here.
See, look, there's dedication for you.
Doing 10 till 7.
That's why we're finishing tonight at 9, everyone, because he's got to go to work.
Phil, which markings are you going to use on the Typhoon?
Yeah, which one? Yeah, that's it now.
Cheers, Mark. And he's put there, he's just noticed that this is his 1000th post.
Congratulations. He's in the 1K club.
He is indeed.
Absolutely. Right, okay, I've got a couple of options. No, I'm not doing it in the god-awful Battle of Britain scheme.
Oh, I know, I don't like it.
Boo!
Let's face it, if they were going to do it, why didn't they do it in the Typhoons one, as in the late war, and do the green over grey instead of grey and brown? It's on that one there. I don't know, it just doesn't look... If they did it in the later one, I think it would look better. The Tucano looked good in it, but no, I just don't see it. No, I'm going to be doing... I have pretty much made my mind up. I think I described it on here. It's I think it's 111 Squadron with the 3 X's on the tail. Is it their one? They've done it. It's got the black forward canards, and then it's got the total jet black tail, and it's got like a hawk in grey swooping forward on the tail, and then it's got like a band goes across with 3 X's on it. I have got a picture, but I don't know if I can bring it up. This is where we're going to try and be clever here.
Dun dun dun.
Because I'm sure it's. Is it on this computer or the other one? Oh, no, wrong one.
Is it on your desktop?
It should be on the desktop. I think it's. Is there a picture of a tornado landing? Of a typhoon landing? Might be on my other computer.
No,
No,
not on there.
not on there. Sorry, guys. No. Yeah, what it is, I will find it and I'll put it up when I start the thread. And see it like that. But yeah, it's quite nice markings. I like it with the jet black tail. Got the greys to work with, but I don't fancy doing a camo pattern on them on there. Steve, though, by the sounds of it, will be doing his. Is he trying to find a picture of it?
I think.
You want to show us
Got the
one? There's a photo.
Well, it's the red one. There's a black and a red one, isn't there?
Yeah, mine's the black one.
Yeah, that's the red one.
Yeah, that's the red one. They do another one with the black, exactly the same, but it's got the black tail and the black canards.
And that's 29. It's got 29 on it.
Oh, right. I don't know. It's got 3 X's. I'm terrible with our. Yeah, if you show me an American one, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, XXX is 30.
Oh, perhaps it's 30 Squadron then.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Post 17, you're going to love this one.
Oh, right, go on.
It's from Robbie. Good evening, gentlemen. Phil, would you like to estimate when you might get round to the ethics typhoon?
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, like, me sort of sidestepping the, we'll have a vote here now. Post up if you'd like me to sidestep the Halifax, because a lot of you have mentioned how it all just gets picked to the post. Every time it's like just a couple of votes and then that's it. And so I thought I was just being sort of nice and saying, right, okay, we'll do it. But if you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. I am here to serve after all. I don't mind either.
We got an inner picture thingy, which is post 18 on page 2.
Oh God, I can't see that.
Which is from Kevin. Hi guys, now able to watch you guys live each week. Great to see you all back. That's the one. And hope Mel is recovering okay. A 35th Hobby Boss M1070 for stirring up dust, SIG. And yes, I live in Bridgewater.
I know, you don't live very far from our besties who we were on holiday with. Literally, you live over the road from them.
My question tonight is, how do I make the windscreen look as if the wipers are clearly and very dirty screen? Windows still covered for painting. The effect I want is like the arc shape that you would see.
Yeah, Steve, you're the expert. Didn't you do it to yours?
Yes, I did. The trick is you need to use the wiper blade. Comes with a kit. And first of all, if you put masking tape over your window, get the wiper blade, and you need to put one end obviously where the wiper blade is mounted, and then put the blade up against the windscreen, and then you can get your correct gap. You know what I mean? Where with the wiper,
the blade itself.
Yeah, and then it's just a matter of drawing half a circle or onto the masking tape. You can put a pencil at end your wiper blade and then just draw down. Take the masking tape off, cut the cut it out basically, and then stick it back on. And then I just airbrush XF52 over the windscreen, and which is that brown colour flat earth.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant for it. And the best thing is, if you don't varnish your windscreen before you spray the flat earth over it, you can also then take a cotton board or a cocktail stick and you can actually scrape away the paint and it comes off easy. So you can get different effects doing it that way. And especially on your side windows, you can make it look as though the guy's just rubbed it with his hand, or if the window's half down, where the crew have had the arm resting against it and they've removed the dirt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense anyway.
Yeah, no, it does. Brilliant. Yeah, there we go.
Indeed. Post 19 is from our number 4 winner,
Oh, right.
which is Stephen Nemitz, which is his 4th post.
Oh, so he's a newbie as well.
He is indeed. Welcome back. Hope Mel is doing better. New member and first time post. No question, just really enjoy the team and the site. Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, Steve, for obviously, buying your tickets and winning your pigments. I will, well, I've got your address anyway, so I'll get that off to you tomorrow.
Next post is from post 20, which is Stephen.
What was that, Steve?
That's your aircraft.
Oh, right, show us again.
That's the tail marking.
Righto.
That is for 11 Squadron.
Ah, right.
It's the one that you're wanting to do. And the aircraft, which looks rather nice because of the black spine.
Yeah.
Is
That'd be the one. That's the one. Yeah.
And obviously it's got the black canards, so...
Right. So yeah, I thought it'd be a little bit different, something a bit nice. See? Piece of cake.
Post 20 is hi Phil. I hope both you and Mel had a good holiday. Question: I got a pot of Tamiya X20 from eBay. When it came, it was in a square pot and not round. When I mixed it, it went very bad. I then saw that the square pot was enamel, yet the round pot is acrylic.
Yes.
Is this the norm, as both pots have the same number, i.e. XF20?
Yes, unfortunately, the only way I don't actually think you can get them very often in the UK, Tamiya enamels, but if you go abroad, they're everywhere. And it's exactly the same colour range. It's either you can have it in enamel or acrylic. Enamel are in square bottles, acrylic are round. So you've just been caught out a little bit on what's in the pot. Sometimes you can get away with it, because I did, for instance, the guns stuff, the guns Sanyo ones that we use. Obviously, I use the Acritus ones, which are the acrylic, but they also do an enamel range as well. So if you're using like an enamel thinner, like we were when we did the Tornado, for instance, I actually used an enamel paint for doing the green, I think it was, or the grey. But it didn't matter, because that's just the way we were putting it down at the time. But yeah, that's the general rule of thumb. They used to be able to get them in the UK, but I don't think you see them anymore these days. But then there's no model shops around here, so I wouldn't know.
This is true.
Do you see the square ones, Steve?
No, I don't see them that often. No.
I remember in the 90s, you used to get the big Tamiya bottles. You had two options. Well, three options. You could have the square one, the 20mm one. I don't know how big the bigger ones are. I think they're 30mm. Well, it might be 25mm. But big, jumbo, fat Tamiya ones. Actually, hold on. I might have one. Look a little bit like. You just look at here. Hold on.
You can tell he's been away for 3 weeks because his bin's empty.
Oh, I have, I do empty it occasionally. Sorry,
he says
Kessler. See, that was actually before I went away as one of his peers. That's when I was working nights. I have you all know I was here gone midnight every single night before I went. Working away I was, editing.
All I can hear is blah, 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 blah.
Talk about yourself.
And we intend to. We're just looking, we're actually enjoying looking at your bow point.
There we go, bow that big.
It's a nice little bow patch on your head.
I don't have a bow patch. Only from a thumb.
You get a nice glare from it.
That's just from a thumb, that is. Right. Yeah, they were all that big back in the day. This is one. I don't know what this colour this was, because I've torn it off at the B ones. But yes. But they don't seem to do them that big over here anymore.
Post 21 is from Rob Tonks. Hi all, glad to see you back. I have posted in the forum a topic relating to the 35th scale patches and ranks decals for the USMC US Army. And to date I have had a few ideas where to go, but none have come to
fruition.
That's the one. I did find exactly the set I wanted by a firm called Echelon, Echelon, but they are out of print. Sorry, Steve?
Is that Echelon? Did you say?
Yes.
What, Echelon?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
I thought I would ask on here as I'm getting sore eyes scrolling through the internet. Has anyone got any ideas where I can get these decals from, as my paint skills won't stretch to painting rank echelons or patches, especially in such a small scale?
Mm-hmm. Steve's probably the man for that one.
Yeah.
You heard of them?
I've heard of them, but I'm also thinking about the rank tabs and insignias. You might Archam might do them. Don't think Bison decals. Echelon. Just try to think who does them. Can't think off the top of my head. If you give me, I'll just have a look at some of the places I go and see if I can find any.
Righto. Okay, we'll leave Steve there in dictionary
We will
corner.
indeed, yes.
One day,
Yes.
when we get you all down here for the live thing, have Steve there, you see, have you here, and we'll be like, I'm going to have a clock in the middle, be like countdown. You know they do, like Jimmy Carr, innit? It does countdown. Yeah, 9 out of 10 cats does countdown. We're going to have a Flory balls, because like none of us can read, spell, or anything else. That would be brilliant.
But we're good with our hands.
Oh, that's it. But I can make a model.
If you get Rachel Riley in the studio, I'll definitely be there.
Or we can get Mel and Lynn.
Yeah.
Times if she's up. So yeah, because I think she might get the if I get her in.
Post 22 is from Mike. The clear that Steve showed us is what we have here in the States. So
yeah, now to be honest, I didn't want to go on about and drag the topic out, but in the States they have the clear one anyway. It seems to be the European one we got the milky rubbish, because Australia has the clear one as well. And so they've always said, like, well, what's the problem? And it's like, well, we don't get that one here, and that's the thing. So, you know, originally I was told from Pledge or SE Johnson at the time, because I did query them about it, they said they would change the formula to bring it in with industry standards because they don't like having clear or whatever translucent liquids or whatever it is, because it's technically a chemical. So they try and give everything now a colour. I think it's to do with like people drinking it and stuff like that, and obviously being safe around kids. So that's why they had to change it for it. So if they're going to go back to being clear now, what happened then? So, but they said they were bringing it in line with European and industry standards. That's the line they sold me years ago. So
see, they would hit my little room because they've got a bottle of Diet Coke with some sort of chemical in it. With nothing.
But you notice the difference when you have a squeak.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I've never done. I've never yet gone like, and got something wrong. I can imagine people doing it, but I've never done it yet. You know.
Post 23 is from Mr. Buller.
With the IPA, it's quite good stuff.
Yeah.
Evening, John.
Bless him, he texted me earlier.
Oh, did he?
Because he loves me so much.
Does he? I didn't get a text.
Ah, so he loves me, not
No,
you.
that's it. I'll say out of favour. Out of sight, out of mind with me. That's it. You go away for 3 weeks and everyone just moved on.
Evening, guys. Nice to see you both back. Just to say, check the new post I've put in the forum. Not sure if it's a new product or not, but Tamiya are doing a masking tape for curves. Never seen it before, so I've ordered the set. Only £13. I've put a link in the post. P.S. Phil, give Mel a big get well hug from me and Lynn.
Will do. Now, yeah, this product here, I've heard about this one, and apparently it's supposed to be very, very good. I wasn't aware it was coming out now. In fact, I was aware it's supposed to have been out ages ago. So, but I haven't seen it. But I was told they are doing a skinny tape, which apparently is very, very flexible.
Right.
That's the whole point. Because the trouble is, when you do, especially they're doing it in 2, 3, and 5 mil, the wider ones, as soon as you go and they tend to kink, and then you get the bleed underneath. And then if you push it down, then you get a square bit. This stuff apparently is supposed to be very flexible.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be very good. Apparently it was originally designed for doing some of their more vehicles and stuff like that, a lot of their RC stuff and all the rest of it. So I'm not sure if it's tape or if it's like a vinyl, and all the rest of it. So, but yeah, it's quite good.
John, you'll have to do a little demonstration for us.
So £3.50.
He said he bought the set for £13.
Yeah. So yeah, no, looks good. I must admit, it'd be interesting to see. Because quite frankly, I'm getting very low. I've got a couple of those Azure ones, that 1.5 mil, 0.7 mil. That's a bit of a skinny one. That one. I've still got my jammy dog in blue, which I've had now for about 10 years. So they can't make much money. One person buys a roll and that's it forever. So yes.
Post 24 is from Andy. Great to see you back, Phil, and fantastic to see you all back for the live shows. No question, but I just want to publicly say how fantastic my wife is, even after my frantic kit buying. Okay, she doesn't know about most of them. See what arrived at your house today's post. She has let me order a new Graphic Air A300S. Then mentioned she's just spent £300 on clothes.
Yeah, that's the normal one. I get that one. Occasionally, from your partners, you get that. You get what you want, love. You know full well they've spent a fortune somewhere. Yeah, because they've like gone out. Because I had that running up to the holiday. You know, because I must admit, I bought my new airsoft gun. It's like, look, if you want it, you go and get it. I'm like, all right. Where's the credit card bill?
Yeah. This is yours that's got used.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Congratulations to Bob, you lucky so-and-so. Right. Mr. Smith, Ian Smith again. Hi, lads. I have checked and they say that the oil base for the water mixable oils have been modified to allow it to bind to water. The colours I have tried thinned out beautifully, just like regular oils. This comes from the Winsor and Newton website. There is no water within the RT something formulation. The license and something sunflower oils possibly, have been modified to allow the colour to accept water. This creates a stable. You're using too many big words.
Yeah.
And retains the working characteristics of the conventional oil colour. The pigments, together with the most suitable oil, bring out each colour's
individual. You know he's copy and paste this, don't you, from their website?
From oak to natural transparency.
Yeah, all right, I'll do. We don't need to.
I'm not reading it, was it?
All right. Yeah, I'll get a hold of some and we'll give it a whirl. Because you get the other ones in it, which are like, is it linseed oil? Going back in the day now, from my artist side of things, but yeah, they do all those types of things as well.
They just working with pigment.
Yeah.
Post 26 is from Neil. Phil, Airfix Kickstarter, not starter kits.
Oh, right.
Okay.
What is that? Kickstarter, as in we pay for them to design it? Is that what they do it that way?
It's where Airfix asks its customers what kits they want to see back or remade. You then pre-order the ones that they choose. If
they're going to kickstart a massive multi-million-pound company are doing a Kickstarter. How tight is that?
If they get enough orders, they'll make them. If you don't, you get charged. It's like Kickstarter products for games, etc. My view is that it could be great if Airfix use it for new tools, but bad if they do it to bring back old toolkits.
Yeah, you couldn't. Could you imagine? They get lynched. Oh, we're not going to give us freaking smash the door down. They use my money to freaking build something else. But let's face it, I'm not being funny. Everyone's just going to say, just bring out a decent 1/72 Vulcan. New tool. Throw away the old one, burn it, get rid of it, and just do a new one. That's what everybody's going to say. You know, I can guarantee it. If it's not, the world's gone mad. That and a Buccaneer. Although I know there's a Buccaneer, so.
Post 27 is from Malcolm Rose. Cheers, Steve. Hi, Phil and Sid. Just to pick up on the clear, Grant Danzel posted because he couldn't find any in Aussie land, so I tried to find some after saying that Asda had plenty of it. When I went, guess what? None left.
It could be a good thing. If they haven't got any, they'll have to bring the new one out.
This is true.
And that could be better. So I wouldn't panic too much at this point, everyone.
So frantically, I trawled around all the supermarkets in the city, including Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Wilko's, but none. I contacted SC Johnson customer services who told me they still sold it and that Sainsbury's were expecting a delivery last Friday. 2 bottles appeared on their shelves and that was it. Various supermarket chains who I contacted to try and get hold of these bottles said they did no longer stock it, and it was being discontinued. A quick Google confirmed that stocks were being sold off. I managed to find 2 cases on Amazon, otherwise I would have had to let Grant out in Aussie land down, but they are winging their way to him now, thankfully. The product replacing pledge is wooden floor wax in a clear bottle but orange in colour, priced at £3.50. This is not clear.
Oh, right. Well, look, everyone just hold fire, you never know. Don't panic. Everyone did it last time, it was ridiculous. And then they'd be on eBay then for 12 quid a bottle, then 25 quid a bottle, then 30 quid a bottle, and then some cases I've seen it like 50 quid a bottle under this miracle project. Oh, God.
Post 28 is from Owen. Hello, men. Welcome back, Phil. This is my first live show to watch live since February and my first in my new man cave. I just wanted to say hello and I hope man is feeling better.
Thank you. Yes, she is. I'm just going to move around. Probably into the loo.
Post 29 is from Paul Lane. I was looking forward to watching the live show tonight. Been a while and have missed watching it. But unfortunately, I'm getting.
Please stand by.
Please stand by. Yeah. So we'll have to watch it when you post up the show and watch it back. No questions tonight. Have a great evening.
No, I'm not sure about that. Just don't forget, try it on the main site as well, because it's on the main site on the Today page and in the live streaming page as well.
Post 30 is from Paul, which is only his second post. Hello, gents. Nice to see you back after your break. Just wondering, Phil, when are you going to have a go at another Wingnut Wings? How about a Forker DV11? A very small amount of rigging on the kit.
I'm not worried about rigging anymore. I'm alright with rigging. I know what I'm doing. I'm good. I've got me elasticy thread, super glue, and me enamel stuff for doing the colour, and I'm good to go.
I'll hold you to that.
I'm not doing one, but I'm just saying I could do one if needed. I will go round to it again. I try and do things in a cycle, as you know, so we will get some rigging in there some way, and it will be a Wingnut Wings because, you know, let's face it, they are pretty much brilliant. Beautiful kits.
First post on page 3 is from Robert. Hello and welcome back. I know you mentioned in many of the videos about spitting and build-up of paint on the needle guard. I use a Water HPC airbrush with the round guard. My question, have you tried the technique of starting the airflow prior to paint and then closing, in brackets, stopping the paint flow before closing, stopping the airflow?
That's what I do anyway. I always do all air, then the paint comes in. It might all go off together, admittedly, sometimes, but yeah, I'm definitely all air before paint. So, but yeah, when you're talking about that build-up, that's not actually it. What happens is you've got such a rate of flow of paint, i.e. you're kicking it in full power, that you get a small amount of vortex, so the molecules are coming back as it gets blown out. If you look at it under a thing, it sort of comes out like this, and it's going here, but these on this edge roll back, and then if you've got a situation, like I don't have it on mine because note to self, clean airbrush, there's a story to that, but I've got one of these big open caps so it can't do it, but if it's like a narrow one, you get a build up around the inside until you end up with enough on there where you get a spit.
Yeah, please don't tell me that's been there for 3 weeks.
Not that one, but I did come back this morning, started to paint and everything else like that, and lo and behold, oh yes, the black work for doing the smokes was in it still. And do you know what? Neat thinners, 10-minute soak, managed to get the needle out, got the needle out, and then I cleaned off the needle, and bearing in mind the cap must be absolutely loaded in there, put the needle back in, pumped the trigger, probably 20 seconds, and it started to come through. Neat thinners going through it, just blew it all out, and I did all the grey work for the interior, and we're good to go. So again, H&S airbrushes, could do that with an eye water. I've been hours cleaning that.
Post 32 from Alistair. First, thanks for the incredible site and community. Just back into modelling after a 25-year break. Apart from all my other questions about building and painting and weathering, the one thing I'd really like a suggestion for is how to do a water diorama. I'm developing a fondness for seamless. Seaplanes. The flying Catalina. Oh dear. This could be a fun night.
I say about a Catalina, that's on my bucket list to do a Catalina.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll start that as well.
Never done a Catalina.
And would love to try to model one taking off or landing. But how do I make convincing water that isn't dead calm?
Tell us, Sid. You're our water expert. With your waves as a ship cut it. Oh no, it didn't, did it? It was on a pond. Windless day.
I've had so many people ask me to do a small video on how I've done my water effects.
I'll tell you where you did it. You went, okay.
I got a brush and I went. But I must admit, I did try and get the waves sort of in a line-ish, so to speak. Not a dead line, but you know what I mean. It's sort of similar, rather than just splodging it in. But yeah, and then when all that was dry, all I then did was got the water effect, put it in place or clear to start with, so that it gave the 3D look, and then I put the smallest drop of white paint into another mix, and I just again went over the tops of it to make it look like that it was like the foam from the water.
Yeah.
Another thing I've learnt to do was with the realistic water was to pour a certain amount on just a clear normal bathroom tile, so it's all nicely flat and smoothed out. And then what I've done is I've peeled it off and then cut little bits off of it and stuck that into place to make it look like it's splashing.
Very good.
But we shall see.
The only time I've ever played it, I did the tinfoil trick.
Right.
And then
that's right, I remember you saying that, yeah.
Scrunch up all your tinfoil so it's all lumpy and all of the rest of it over it. And then you pour your water effect onto it, or just gloss if you wanted to. And then you push the tinfoil down onto it so it's all scrunchy and bunchy and all the rest of it. And then it's timing then. You pull it off just before there's got a skin enough to hold itself, but it rips it slightly. And that gives you a watery type of effect or whatever. And you get other people that do tinfoil on the bottom, on the top, like a sandwich, and then peel the top off and do it that way. And then you can then dry brush the top white to get your crusty bits, your little white horses, and do all of that. That's the only way I've ever done it. But then, to be honest, I think I've only done it a handful of times in my life. So something I'd have to have a play with.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Absolutely.
Post 33 is from Andrew. My first live show. Really enjoying it, so good job. I just wanted to say I'm loving the Cheapskate Corner forum, so thanks to everyone for those helpful posts. I must admit, it seems very popular.
Yes.
And I can fully understand why.
So it's a local problem with the live show not streaming, apparently. So it's not us, we're alright.
Oh, okay.
Because we've been there. And also, just on here, I'll just bring it up as a picture-in-picture.
Dum,
On the other page. Of course, I'll see number 3 around the corner.
Yeah.
Which idiot puts a bloody great speaker on the side of their monitor? Might be me then.
I haven't got to. I'm just getting to that one now.
I know. I was just bringing it up because we're just running out of time.
Oh, right.
I wanted to cover this one.
Adrian, this is from. Hi, sorry to hear the decal sheet. Here's the decal sheet and the box art from the Phantom on post 14.
Yeah, absolutely. Usual thing.
Ooh.
As I said, loads of gloss, get it nice and slippy on top, and then go straight over the top of it.
Checkers.
So it's checkerboard, and they are big decals on those. It's broken up, you know, but yeah, get them down, put them down, take your time with it, make sure you get all the water out, and don't be afraid of silvering, because you might have to do, little tip is to use the old riveting tool. There's mine. If you use your little riveting tool like this, if you have got silvering, zip over it quite aggressively, okay, and then give it another setting solution over the top. and then you'd be surprised how well it does. Because the thing is, if you start going in with your knife, and all of a sudden you've done too many, you have a slice coming out of it, and that's happened to me before. That's why I like to use a riveting tool, because that way you can literally zip over it a zillion times, then get your one on there. If you still have a little bit of silver in, and then just come in with something a little bit more aggressive, as in, you know, pop in there with something perhaps like a X28 acrylic or something else like that.
I'm just looking at them trying to line up those different decals. There's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, it would be quite tricky, that one. Okay, I'll do this one. Mark Roberts, so I'll just try and skip through a couple of these. Looking to buy a Gundam model from HobbyLink Japan, never bought outside of the EU. What postage do you recommend? Right, okay. I think they do, Steve will probably help me on this one. They do 4 options. They do like a really express job, which is really expensive. I think it's like 2 to 3 days, isn't it, Steve, for that one? They do another one, which is their expedite, whatever it is, which is, I think they say 3 to 7 days, I think that one or something, which are the 2 pricey ones. And then I think they do a standard shippy one, and they do one via a snail or something. It really depends on how quickly you want to get it. If you want to get your kit, you know, you want to start on it next week, then you're going to have to go the other. Chances are you're going to get called. Just from what you guys are saying is, the more slower delivery times, i.e. the one that says between, you know, I think it's like 10 to 30 days is the sort of standard option for the postage. As I say, if you go by a snail where it's like, you know, 30 days plus delivery, I don't know, but that is the one where people are getting away with it and not getting caught with the customs, it seems to be. The Gundam kits, because they're quite big and boxy, again, it's going to be a big box, so, you know, Mr. Import Tax will love those types of ones. The smaller ones, the little ones, I know Steve got one through, didn't you? You bought one of a kit, wasn't it, the R2s or something, Steve?
Yeah.
You didn't get caught with that, but it was one kit, and because it's quite a small kit, it may have been just the size factor. They weren't worried about little packets, but anything biggie, they're like, that'll do. Got to be expensive, or have that one, and all the rest of it. So I think it's just a case of, you know, if you can wait a bit, do the cheaper option, but you are going to have to wait perhaps a couple of weeks for it to turn up. If you want it like yesterday, like me, because I'm really impatient, and I'm like, right, okay, I normally do the second option because the first one's really expensive, the second one's not too bad. But, you know.
Here you go. I've just brought it up.
Yeah.
And you get, the cheapest is standard international shipping, which takes 10 to 30 business days. The next one is standard international registered shipping, which takes the same time, but that comes with tracking.
Yeah.
Then you have express international shipping, which is trackable and averages 2 to 7 business days. And then the final one is express international courier, which is FedEx, and that takes 2 to 5 business days. I've just put in my basket, for example, on a Star Wars TIE Fighter, the 172nd, the cheapest option's 880 yen. The most expensive is 2,540 yen. So that's more than the price of the kit.
Yeah, that's right. That is the trouble. You know, like Steve was saying, a lot of the times when I put in an order, it's more, the shipping's more expensive than the kit. You know, so that's the trouble when you just buy ones, and that's why at the moment, to be honest, I was going to get the snow speeder because I wanted to review it for you guys, but it's going to cost the same amount to get it here as what it's going to cost to actually, you know, the kit itself. So I've left it in the box because, to be honest, I have got quite a few items on pre-order with them because I've got like the Tamiya Mosquito, the 32nd one, that's on pre-order, which is due out soon. I've got a couple of other Star Wars, I've got the speeder bike and things like that. So what I'm going to do is wait for them to come in, and then I'm going to bring them in under a standard delivery, you know, the 1 to 30 day thing, and see how it works and if it's going to be cheaper, because otherwise it's going to cost a fortune to get it in, and that's what you have to allow for, is that one, you've got your shipping cost, and if you get caught, because don't forget, it's not so much how much it is, it's just because Royal Mail, or not Parcel Force I should say, because they're separate, put on their charges, and I haven't gotten down here, they've all gone up to the accounts bit, but literally it's like £13.50 handling fee, and then you've got another 12 whatever it is fee on top and all the rest of it. So it's like 27 quid or whatever it is every time you bring something in, so you do have to factor that in if you get caught. Now, as I said, I think because I bought a load and they know the name, I'm obviously on a system and it comes through and it says Flory models and automatically it'll just send me a bit.
Well, it could be because you're using a company name.
Yeah, it could be as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
know whenever I order from Lucky Models, I get a lot of aftermarket parts. I always stick below 30 quid, and that's me maximum level. I won't go over that. And a lot of aftermarket parts come with free postage, and I've yet to be stung doing it that way. I'll even do a separate order to avoid it.
Now that said, Lucky Model, I've ordered a lot from them and some big stuff as well. I ordered the Tamiya, Corsair, things like that. That came from them. I've never been caught. So it's a bit weird how they work all these things because for some reason, I think the trouble is Hong Kong, I think they use like a European postage system, whereas HobbyLink Japan, they just use a standard, whoever's it is, you know, and that's the little thing to it. Because you can also, with HobbyLink Japan, it's it, and they just put the price down exactly how it is on the customs thing on top. Lucky Model, you can tick a little box that says declare a lower value, and if you notice, it always says $30. That's what it says. And yeah, I've got a $200 kit in it, you know, but it always says $30 on the ticket. But the only trouble with that is, though, your invoice says it's 30 as well. So from a point of view, I can't claim it back then, because as far as the invoice is concerned, from my point of view with the tax man, all the rest of it, I can't then put it down as being what it really is 300. So there you go.
And thinking on, Phil, if you're bringing in a load of kits, if you went that bit extra and brought them in through FedEx, you won't get stung for the Royal Mail handling charges, parcel force handling charges.
Yeah,
They'd only get the tax.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point because I say I've had FedEx before. These lights as well, thinking about it, they came via FedEx. And FedEx sends you the invoice and then you have to phone up with your credit card. It's all automated and pay your bill. You know, they just send it afterwards. So, but yeah, I don't think there's actual handling fee with FedEx. I think it was just the actual value. I don't know. I'll have a play. For the point of view of like, you know, searching and research, I'm going to have to go and buy a load of kits from HobbyLink Japan.
Shame.
Damn, terrible stuff. But I'm doing it for you guys. Remember that. You know, you're responsible for my stash. You make me buy it. Sorry, darling. It's all for research. Don't worry about it. I've bought from 20 different manufacturing countries and all the rest of it just to see which is which. You're yawning more than me, and I'm still getting over my jet lag. Right, go on then. Lasty ones, because we're going to have to carry over.
Post 37 is from Tony. Hi Phil, can you tell me where to find the hairspray chipping tutorial? Great show.
Oh, yeah, it's is it not in tutorials? I don't know.
Can't remember.
Can't remember either. Can't remember where I've done it now. If you have a look at, I'm just trying to think which ones I did it on. The hind build or the interior in the rear cabin I did chipping effects with. That will be on there. Just trying to think what else video wise it's on. Can't remember which ones I've done it now. Yeah, it's definitely have a look at the did you on Michael? No, I didn't. Yeah, the Hind 24 interior rear cabin. I did it to all the seats and the various bits around there. That's all hairspray chippy effect. So you can see it in there. Or is it normal chipping fluid? One or the other. In there. I don't know where the standalone one is. That's quite an old one there. Might have to redo that one.
Post 38 is from Stephen Nimitz again. Hi Phil, Stead again. What did I win? I missed it. I'm really hoping it's a set of Sanders.
No.
I would be happy with whatever it is, and it's for a great cause. Thanks again.
Right, no, sorry. Actually, you got a full set of pigments. So you've got Lynn, as we know, as she's known here, because they've all got the girl's name. So you know, you've actually got Lynn. So yes.
Post 39 is from Dennis. Mark, when ordering from HobbyLink Japan, I always use SAL as shipping option. The package arrives exactly 14 days after shipping. I am living in the middle of Europe. Post 40 is from John. Hi guys, welcome back. Just a quickie for a newbie to the forum. I'm doing a 48 desert diorama and was wondering what colour wash would you recommend? Oh, excuse my jet again. For a 109 and an Opal Blitz. Many thanks, John. Just like to add, I'm trying to use homemade ink washes at the moment, but I am open to other ideas. Many thanks, John.
Well, actually, this is great company. Personally, for me, I would say the dark dirt, because that is your shadow colour and your recess colour and the grime wash. Absolutely, no problem at all. Steve, what would you do?
Yeah, if you're using your washers, I'd go with that. Otherwise, I'd use enamel washers, a dust effect.
By some other lesser company.
Yeah, but I always recommend, if you're doing anything with deserts, look at some reference pictures of which desert you're wanting to set the diorama in. Have a look what colour the ground is there, and then try and match up from there. Using inks, I wouldn't have a clue.
No, that's right. No.
And post 41 is from Paul. Hi, Phil and the gang. I managed to pick up a bottle of clear from Robert Dyers today, as no one else seems to have any at the moment. But there is a clone of clear made by a company called Ashtonish, which can be found in most pound shops, but I can't remember what Ashtonish call it. Astonish is call it. My question. My question to the gang is: have you ever had to ditch kits due to the parts of the sprue being too warped? As I had to scrap a Rebel 35th Hawker Hunter due to one of the wings being too warped to fix.
In that case, I would push your luck and I would go back to Rebel and say, this kit I've got of yours, because they've just done the Reeboks of the 32nd Hunters, and say, the wing's warped and I can't use it. And they'll send you a nice new one. If it's still in production, that's the key though. If it's one of the out of production jobs, that they do a lot of reboxing and things like that, because I've got the Hunter down there. And a 32nd Rebel Hunter, and I know they've got the other one out now as well, I do believe. So you could have said to them, look, I've got a warped wing, but how they? You know, but sometimes, you say about warped wing, how warped are we talking warped? A lot of the time you can literally get it back into shape to a point. As long as one of them's straight, you've got something to work with then. You can try the old hot water trick as well. Just be careful, because it's one of those things. As soon as you go too hot, it'll just turn to jelly. But you can get it hot enough to make it slightly sag, and then hopefully it'll sag back to how it should be as it sits on the sprue.
Post 42 is from Tony. Hi again, guys. On postage from Japan, I ordered X-Wing movable big box postage, which was £5, and received it within 5 days.
Good service, that is. It's very good.
And the last one is Ben Morgan. Just a note on FedEx. When I have been charged about 2 in 3 orders, there's a handling charge of £12 on top of import charges. At least you get billed after delivery, though.
Yeah, I did wonder. I can remember if there was actually a handling charge. But yeah, it's a bit of a bummer because you think, hey, got away with that one. And then literally like 6 weeks later, you get a letter through the post and it's like, great. So anyway, last one there. Can you go through the winners again, please? I missed it. Who's that? That's Andrew Blake. You weren't one of them. See, do you want his? Because you couldn't be bothered to watch. No, it was Bob Bailey won the overall for everything, and then we can't pronounce his name. The guy in Poland.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. But anyway, he got a wash set, and because I can't pronounce your name, I'm also going to throw you in a set of stickers as well. I'll get another set from upstairs because that's so bad of us. I feel ashamed. Green, or our Graham Bates, he won the full set of Sanders, not the sweets, which we didn't eat because we haven't eaten them today. They've been very good. Pigment set went to Steve Nimitz, and Rob got the subscription. I haven't got it before. So yeah, congratulations. And that's it. Indeed. We are done. You can go to work now. Go on, sod off. Right. That's it.
I will get changed.
Go to your proper job. Didn't want you here anyway.
Well, I did try and say to myself, you know, you're not expecting me to turn up in trousers and shirt again. I've only got one.
Yeah, I only had the one from the interview. I've got one shirt and tie, and you've seen me in it in my
So I've
interview.
got cream trousers and a black polo shirt, and that's it.
Oh, very
That's
80s.
what I thought. In theory, everybody should be asleep, so they shouldn't see me. So
Well,
that's
that's
fine.
it, you're alright. Which is handy, because if they do wake up and see you, they're going to scream and think you're some weirdo walking around the place.
Oh, that's last night's weather. It was horrendous.
I know. See, nice weather, you come back to this
I know.
rubbish. Never mind. Right, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. It's nice to be back. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Goody goody. So we're going to do it every other week now, so we don't just bore you to death and all the rest of it, and I don't have to keep cleaning away everything between work. I hope you're all enjoying the video logs. You all seem to love that way of doing it. Obviously, there'll be one up tomorrow, and everything else like that. So that's all good. Cracking on with it. So now I've just got to build a typhoon after today, and now I've got to do another one. So I'm doing classic and modern. Brilliant.
What's wrong with that?
Well, space. That's what's wrong with it. And
That's
Bob,
why it's all going to.
yeah, well, no, that's the trouble. Bob, we will make arrangements, and I'll drop it round Steve's house sometime soon.
Yeah. Steve, we're coming up for a curry.
Yeah, Steve, come around for a curry. I'm getting used to go to Steve's for the weekend.
See, you think we're joking?
Yeah.
You're always,
We'll be like, Steve, we're outside your door. Open the door. I know you're in there. Stop pretending. I can see your model room light on. Yeah, with a camera.
well, in fact, if you come up in July, you can drop the stuff off, and Rob will be dog sitting for me. I won't be here, so.
Oh, right. Right. Thank you very much anyway for joining us again, as always, Steve.
It's a pleasure.
No problem. Thank you very much, Stu, mate.
That's all right, no problem.
Glad to be back and back into the mojo and all the rest of it.
That's it's been quite different because I've not been modelling, but
Yeah,
it's nice coming back.
that's it, absolutely. Brilliant. Right, okay, guys. I'm trying to sort out as well for you guys who are around this area for our keep meets as well to try and get them all back in track and everything.
Yeah, you're slacking.
I know, because we've had one here for ages.
Absolutely disgraceful.
Never mind. We've got the one coming up soon for our weekend, the geek
Yay!
weekend. That's right. Right, okay, guys. Until next 2 weeks. So next week. Can't do that anymore. A fortnight, as we say in these parts. And we'll see you very soon. So until later, guys. Bye bye.
Take care.